What is going on, ladies and gentlemen of the tribe? How we all doing today? We all looking fine? We all looking beautiful? I hope so. I certainly hope so. How is everybody? How is everybody? Gosh, that's getting very annoying. Close that down a second. Close that down a moment. Sincerest apologies. Glad you're doing well, Sop. Looks like my social stream is certainly not picking up any of that business. That's lovely. Yeah, I'm doing good. Thank you, Sop. Doing good. Thank you, buddy. One sec. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Apologies. Come join me just a moment whilst we climb in fleet. Oh, God. Are we really that far down in fleet? Are we really that far down in fleet? Let's just get this going. Need to get back up into first in fleet. Desperately need to have crystals at the moment. Padawan Obi-Wan just ate all of my crystals. Very rude of him. Very rude indeed. Hello, baby. Have you? Sorry guys, I can't see the chat at the moment. Give me a moment. I just need to get through this fleet battle and we'll be able to see the chat again. We'll be able to see the chat again shortly. Let's have a look. We'll call in the scimitar. Yeah, let's get that retribution going, I think. Gotta love a little bit of retribution. A little less conversation, a little more rage, please. A lot less hesitation and satisfaction in me. A little less bite, a little more bark, a little more fight, a little more spark. Open up your eyes, baby, satisfy me. Hey, Smudgy Bear, what you doing? Alright, get through this. I'm sure I could just hit auto on this at this point. Come on, Smudge, time to go. Smudgy. Come on, Smudge. Win yet. Looks like we just took over their capital. Right, so why is my chat not picking up, I wonder? Why, oh why, is the chat not picking up? And of course the game minimizes. Right, we're going to have to wait for this to go through first. We have to wait for this app to go through, this battle to go through. And then I'll be able to fix the chat. What's going on, Lord Megatron? What's going on, Yaren, Robbie, Marco? How you guys doing today? Game doing silly stuff. The stab drop rate on Cantina is killing your crystals. Ah, Robbie. Mate, I had a hard time with that drop rate as well. Ian and Butthead, how you doing today, buddy? Okay, I need to figure out why this isn't working now. Need to figure out why my chat is not picking up. It should be picking up. And yet it is not. So if I actually tried to test in here, test. Okay, now it's coming together. Now it's coming together. Okay, super. Great. Smashing. Smashing, amazing, wonderful. Wunderbar, you might say. Alright, let's go ahead and jump in and join our wonderful co-hosts today. How's it going, gentlemen? How are we?
Oh, this guy's here. I gotta go. Bye.
No, God, don't leave me with Ranger.
Oh, no,
hey, guys.
I'm really leaving. Fuck you.
How are you, gentlemen? Are you fine? Are you good? Are you dandy?
We're good.
Good.
Very good.
Very, very good, hey? Wonderful. That's what we like to hear. So we had some technical difficulties at the start of this recording, but it seems to be fixed now. I mean, that's true. That's very true. Technical difficulties go part and parcel.
He's gone black screen.
I mean, I don't think it's a racist thing. I think
No,
it's...
no, I just said he's angry. He just doesn't want to show his face.
Oh, I turn my camera on, but I don't move the slider because the camera takes like 30 seconds to warm up, so I don't move it right away.
Oh. He turns his camera on. That's all the takeaway I got from that.
That's fair. That's accurate.
You know, I mean, you could look directly into its eye and whisper sweet nothings into it, Garth. Sweet
That's
nothings.
what I tell her every night.
Hell yeah. No sound on Garth. Oh, we might not be picking you guys up. 1 second. It's because I've done all... talk a second.
Hello.
Keep talking,
Oh,
guys.
God.
I want to see. Can you guys pick that up? Do you guys get that?
Do I
No,
don't
not you.
Test,
myself. Hold on.
Testing, testicles.
I can hear
testicles,
myself.
Watch.
I can hear myself.
All right. I see Garth is rocking the Beckham hairstyle. Is that a Beckham hairstyle?
I don't have any
I have
clue.
no idea.
None of us know. Sounds good?
You're
They're
the
both
impression
coming
that we
through.
know style or give
Style.
a shit.
We're nerds. We don't have style. We
Don't
don't
have too
do
much.
that round here. Come on.
We don't use a toothbrush or put on deodorant.
Well, hold on.
Hold on.
I wouldn't go that far. I both brushed my teeth and brushed my deodorant today. Okay, so that's clearly false.
That is a choice.
Yeah.
All right. So, yes, we've got no Wolf today. Wolf is off. Apparently, it's Mother's Day in America. You guys just don't love your mothers, is it? Or is it just a case
Ooh.
of you love your Tribe Talks more?
Again, you're making me not want to be here, Scribe.
How are you? How dark do you want to get on this one?
Okay, let's glaze over that very briefly then. Let's swiftly moving on. No, of course.
You really
I very
want
much
an
appreciate
answer?
you guys taking time out of your Mother's Day evenings to be here on Tribe Talks. Very much appreciate it. Thank you so
You
much.
see Randy, I'm in a chat with this psychopath. His Ranger wants to be introduced shoeies. How are we doing shoeies? No, it's not my stream, psycho.
Exactly.
You can always
and-
put money in Ranger's tip jar.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And you
like
could-
someone's gonna go to my tip jar while I'm doing the tribe talks.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Hey.
they can still do that if they want to. It's just, doing
Oh,
shoeies
for
on
God
Tribe
sakes.
Talks. What the
Really,
people on
Ram? On
Spotify are going to
Mother's
listen to
Day, I swear, I have a. Oh my God. Let me look at this psychopath. Just did what I think he just did. Oh my God.
Dear me.
God damn it, Ram. Yeah, just.
Ranger's a little too loud now. That's just the way he is, though, I think.
Yeah. I
Let
like
me
the
adjust
young
Ranger's
screen.
volume slightly. There you go. Maybe. Oh crap! I didn't mean to
Alright.
click on his face there. Whoopsie.
Ram says just kidding. Made you look.
Made you look.
Wow. Look who's going to be banned on my channel. That's a big
Mhm.
no-no in Ranger's book. And this is after I got him with the PC client version. Okay, Ram.
You hooked him up
Don't,
and everything.
don't-
God damn.
yeah. Not by choice. I'd really.
Well, no, I
would say
mean,
it was random.
I don't think.
Yeah,
anybody
you
does
will
it
be
by
banned.
choice.
Yeah, Ram. I wouldn't say anything over on that channel. Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
Oh, Robbie, that's sweet, dude. $150 for breakfast. I mean, that's a lot of money for breakfast. But hey, if you love your mother, you love
that's a
your
nice
mother. You know.
breakfast. Yeah, I
Every-
got my mom flowers and
Nice.
cards, and I got her breakfast this morning, and got her
Aw.
favorite coffee and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to do that kind of stuff, and then I'll chill out with her this afternoon and watch whatever she wants to watch or do whatever she wants to do. That's what you do on Mother's Day.
Convince her
so.
Star Wars is a wholesome family activity.
Yeah.
Well, I think
in
she wants to
particular,
watch,
Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes.
Oh no!
I think we're going to
wouldn't wanna
watch
that.
either Dune or we're going to watch season 2 of The Wheel of Time. So yeah,
Ah,
it's
so it's still gonna be
$7,
pretty
Ram,
new.
and you've already screwed up.
Yeah, Ram, you have to donate twice now to get for Ranger to do it on
Yeah,
the
you
show.
suck, Ram.
Yeah, Ram. God.
What am I doing?
I
I have
dick.
no idea.
don't know. I don't
Oh, there it is. I was trying to get to the voice chat so I could pop it out, so I could put it on my main screen, and then I can see myself in real time, so I can adjust my
Ooh.
camera as needed.
Yes, yes. I
Lovely,
think, yes.
lovely. Yes,
Technology,
as a
yes, yeah.
YouTuber, I watch myself in real time constantly. It's as streamers, that's
They
what
were
we
like,
do.
do you watch yourself go? You go back and watch stream? Like, no, I really don't. No.
No. But we do have the unbridled joy of watching an stupid seagulls. The unbridled joy of watching back content that we've recorded in the editing process.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
anytime we do a video, I've probably watched the video twice.
Whoa, we edit things.
Yeah. It's
Well, we do,
it's
Garth. You don't. But,
an unnecessary evil.
Oh,
I mean,
right.
don't get me wrong. The Tribe Talks is a complete unedited shit show, but that's how I like it. That's the only way that I would do a podcast, is if
And
the
it's
minimum
only,
work.
it's only going to get better, Scribe.
Whoa, hold up. Hold up. Carthrick never drinks on Tribe Talks. All right, hold up.
I drank last week.
Ow.
I don't have anything to drink. Wow.
I've got whiskey. Hold up.
Scribe,
I
you
got-
got, oh no, Ranger, you got Foster's.
Only people put shit in the tip jar.
You got Guinness. You could drink some Guinness.
God damn it. I mean, I guess I could have a nice
it's
Guinness, but then
party.
people.
All
Okay,
right.
hold on.
Good. You drank last week? How did I miss that? No, last week we
I
didn't do a
didn't-
Tribe Talks.
The week before. I didn't do it the week before, though.
Oh, okay. Why would you put hand sanitizer? What? Supper? Then it's supper. Get out of here. You're not old enough to drink. Anyway,
Ugh. You know how awful
Yeah, I'm not
that would
drinking
be.
Foster unless someone does something crazy in the tip jar, which was already been lied upon. And by someone I mean
Well,
stupid Ram Bam.
the one thing that is
no shoey.
dependable is that you can never depend on what Ram is going to do or say. So,
Ram says
he-
clink
he
clink for
sucks.
real.
oh, clink clink for
You're
real
such
now.
I'm gonna look again. I swear this communist is messing with me. I'm gonna look again, and
Communist.
there's nothing in there.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's a communist.
Yeah.
No, he would be drinking the beer you buy and saying thank you. Or maybe saying thank you.
Indeed.
See, I just opened this nice stout.
Oh, and there has been a time. Do I not have any mods in the chat right now? Where are all my
Where's
mods?
Night Fox?
Night Fox.
We killed
Blacker. I'll be right back.
Damn it. Hold
Yep.
on, now I have to do shit.
See, now you've timed out Karth. What's going on? Traded out for a Foster's. Mod check, mod check, mod check. Nightbot. Yeah, he's not here. You have failed me for the last time, Night Fox. No, it's fine. Night Fox hasn't been well recently. He's been struggling with a bit of the old man flu. The lurgy.
Oh.
The dreaded lurgy,
Oh.
Ranger.
All right, Ram Bam, I have confirmed this time Ram Bam did donate. So this is 3 shoeys to start the Tribe Talk. So, and he waited till I opened this nice Guinness stout, to have something nice to
Oh.
drink. And I'm going to poison my mouth
Yeah,
with this shit.
but at least you
Here
can
we go.
wash it down with Guinness. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just a Guinness chaser now. It's fine. That's a beautiful shoe right
Yeah.
there. Mm-hmm. Isn't that delicious?
This is what I'll be drinking today.
Mitch's
get to drink
bourbon,
that
small
thing.
batch. Ain't nothing small about these batches, boy.
No.
Nice. I'm going to be
It's,
drinking some Brewdog Hazy
All right.
Jane Guava.
Here we go.
91 proof. 91 and a half, actually, but still.
Hey, Night Fox turned up. Thank you, Moddy, buddy. Appreciate you. There's another one.
Bye, Ram.
It's done.
Hang him. Oh,
Just
one
make
more.
Wombat
Ah.
and MJ mods. Nothing wrong with nothing could go wrong.
Oh,
That sounds
Yeah,
like
nothing
a
could go wrong
recipe for the
there.
end
Okay,
of the
that
world.
sounds-
Literally
Yeah.
mass hysteria if that happened. Not
Dog
gonna
sleeping
happen.
with cats.
No, I think people would get like permanently banned,
God.
just because Mary J would be like, "How dare you disagree with me? But I've been putting
Yeah.
pineapple on your pizza." Therefore, silence. Then we go right
Silence!
past communism and a dictatorship on Scribe's channel.
All right,
Yeah, that's
last
not the
shoey,
vibe we
thank
go
God.
for around here. Come on, Ranger, get it down your
No.
gullet. Let's go.
Yeah, quit being I don't know. You need to zoom out. I feel like that's too much of my face.
I love to see so much of your face.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
better.
Nasty. I hate phosphorus.
Yay, Job's done.
I hates it.
Job's done. You hates it. You
Yeah,
love
that's
it,
the
Ranger.
only way I'll be doing shoeys. You better clink clink and don't be messing around because I will be looking for you on the channel later. It's like,
I will
Tricked
find
me,
where
did
you
ya?
live, boy.
ban.
So, hello everybody. Welcome back to another wonderful week. We took a week
God.
off the Tribe Talks because it was Bank Holiday Monday and I went back home and watched a podcast. Isn't that weird? The podcast was off because I was watching a podcast. Oh ho. That's some kind of podcastception business going there. But today, in today's episode of Tribe Talks, we are joined by the oddest looking wolf I've ever seen. His name's Ranger. Hi, Ranger.
I rob from the poor to give to the rich. That's Wolf. Robin Hood, a SWGoH.
See,
Yeah.
I can't tell the difference. That must be Wolfie, really.
Right.
So yeah,
Oof.
and Karth as usual. How you doing, Karth, buddy?
I didn't realize Wolf was gonna be besmirched. Yeah, besmirched.
Well,
so
I just been
much on
drinking
the show.
shoeies and I'm not happy right now.
That bourbon has already hit Karth pretty heavy. I didn't realize Wolfie would be so besmirched. Let me tell you, boy.
Yeah.
My
That was
brain
the
was
time.
trying to get to that next syllable before my mouth could sound it, and so it was just like, ah.
I'm strange.
Listen, I've been outside all day. Well, not all day, all morning.
Signing.
I had to go mow my yard again after I mowed it yesterday.
Did you just do a really bad job yesterday?
No, I've been traveling for the last 2 weeks and I hadn't had time on the weekends to mow it. So I mowed it down from like 8 inches to like 3.5.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mowed it down to 1.5 inches today.
Yeah. He's talking about his pubes, guys, all right?
Oh,
So-
yeah. 1.5 inches of pubes. I wouldn't be getting touched down there.
It took me all day, guys. It was really busy. I got a right sweat on trying to chew through that forest.
Pair of scissors and one hair at a time, man.
Manscaped, new sponsor of Scribbles.
Do you think we could get that? I mean, I could do with some fresh.
I'm surprised you don't have like a skull shaver spotlight yet.
You know,
Like, because
I
honestly,
use a skull shaver every day. Skull shaver representatives, reach out to me. Come on, I will do you some sponsorship. Just got to give me a lifetime supply of skull shaver and fresh razors every month. Okay, how's that sound? I don't even need cash. Just,
Just
slide
cut out
into my
expense.
DMs, skull shaver.
There you go.
Yeah. So, as you all
Yeah,
know,
all
this
the
is
cats on
exclusively a Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast, where the only thing
Ooh.
we ever discuss is Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. So, how's your mother's, guys? Are they all good?
Plus tangent.
Plus tangent, yeah. It is officially Mother's Day in the States, not in the UK. People were like, don't forget, it's Mother's Day. And I was like, shit, really? God damn. I was like, no, wait a minute. I've already done
Again?
Mother's Day. We've already done that like 2 months ago. So, yeah. Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers in the world. And the awful mothers, I guess. Well, try better.
That reminds me of my favorite Mother's Day meme, where it's like this guy is pointing at a bar chart of when crime is committed, and on Mother's Day, the crime is the lowest every year.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's like, the only conclusion can be is that mothers are all the criminals.
That's right.
I thought it was all the irresponsible sons are trying to be kind to their mothers on that one day. They're like, okay, today I will not hold up the store at gunpoint.
I would love to see the correlation between the amount of crime leading up to Mother's Day and then Mother's Day itself, to see if people are like robbing, stealing, and whatever else to get things for Mother's Day. If that has like an impact.
Well,
That'd be
it would be
interesting.
like, what is the rate of theft of chocolates and flowers the week preceding Mother's Day?
Well, that would be the smart way to go about it. You'd be stealing stuff that you could pawn for cash, and then use that to buy.
See, now we already know that Karth is a statistic here because he's thought this one through. He's lived it. He's like, no, Scribble, don't be foolish. You don't buy the actual stuff. We got to integrate it. This is the integration part of money laundering.
Listen, every smart criminal, businessman knows how to launder money.
I mean, politician.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Oh my days. So yeah. There are some mothers in Galaxy of Heroes as well, and in Star Wars, but they typically don't have very happy endings, truth be told. Does that make George Lucas a bit of a misogynist, or maybe he doesn't have a particularly good relationship with his mother, or?
Everyone's got to die eventually, so
Yeah.
And he spends far more time killing men than women, so maybe he just hates
And the
guys.
children too.
Well, you can't tell with the Tuscans, really, can you?
Yeah, but you can tell
Well,
the
there's the
younglings.
big Tuscans and the little Tuscans, so I think you can tell on that part too. Yeah.
You can only tell the children and the adults. I can't, I didn't know Warrior was a woman until I knew Warrior was a woman. The rest of the Tuscans
the
couldn't tell
adult
you.
Tuscans could just be 3 Jawas stacked together.
I think they all are. Yeah. I swear they're not going, or they're going, Urtini. But yeah.
Disgusting creatures.
Beer is good.
Beer.
The problem is after you drink Foster's, as someone in the chat said, you should have VP. Well, listen, I don't drink Foster's because I like it. I drink it because I hate it, and you guys like to see me drink this.
You drink it because of Heinzie.
Yeah.
I got to keep the spirit of Heinzie alive. He's that Muppet that got me started on this nonsense. So,
To be clear, Heinzie isn't dead, everybody. It's the spirit that he's keeping alive. The spirit of the once upon a time Galaxy of Heroes content creator. He was very small. Nobody'd ever really heard of him. His name was Heinzie.
One is led to believe that if you listen closely, you can still hear the dicks screaming across the galaxy.
Yes. Yeah, they still come through my stream sometimes. And,
I mean, people who aren't familiar with Heinzie's show, and probably Rambam to the same degree, I guess, aren't aware of that soundbite. They're probably just getting this image of these giant floating dicks going through space screaming. Just like giant screaming dicks.
Their whole space. Yeah.
Hey, there's an episode of oh god, well, I can't think of the show now. That's the hormone monster in it. It's a Netflix show.
I don't know. I don't watch shows, Karth.
Why can't I think of its name?
I am the show, Karth.
I
didn't say it was a good show, okay?
It's just the show.
It's like watching
Stranger Things
on the TV for
Stranger
hours
Things.
No, it's an animated show.
I don't think that Stranger Things would have giant spacefaring cocks. All right, I mean they could, but it's a
big mouth. There we go, big mouth.
I can think of a few hentai and anime that I've seen that definitely did, but I don't think I want to list those right now.
Season 2 or 3 of the show, they do like a sci-fi fantasy spinoff with Missy and Nathan Fillion, and they're talking about puberty. No, this is Big Mouth.
Big Mouth. Okay.
Yeah. So they do this little, and then so like the girl's flying a lady bit, and then they get attacked by the men who are flying giant space penises. So, anyways, that's where my brain went.
So it's a giant game of space coitus, basically.
Yes.
With the space penises invading the flying vagina.
Yep.
Okay. I'm glad.
Yep.
This is the oddest start to a Tribe Talks, I think, that we've ever had.
Well, I'm still trying to get this nasty taste of Foster.
I mean,
it makes the Guinness taste worse.
Well, it makes everything taste worse, to be honest.
Really
the only thing that Foster's makes itself taste better is probably the next Foster's you have. As you slowly become drunker, your taste buds eventually die off, and it tastes better.
It really gets worse.
You got to get really sloshed to not taste Foster's.
So, with that said, everybody in chat, go clink clink in Ranger's tip jar, so that he can kill off the remaining taste buds in his mouth. Okay, it's only fair. It's only.
Why
fair.
would you say that, man? Oh no, they don't have the link. Sharks.
Ranger, drop the link in chat so people can know how to help you.
Wouldn't it be really weird if I knew how to do that?
I have a bad feeling about this.
I mean, we know that Ram has it, and Ram was here earlier. So
I mean,
oh no, Ram's no longer here. Oh no, darn.
The easiest way to go about it is you just hop over to Reality Skilled Gamers Twitch page, and you just go to his donate section, and then you pull it up, and then it takes you right to it. If you just put in 10 seconds of legwork, you can get there without even Ranger having to give away how to get there.
Exactly.
And then the chaos can ensue.
And Ranger just becomes a happier individual. That's what really happens. You know? He's going to be so happy, guys.
Don't
you want to put a smile on Ranger's face? He is like the mother of the
content
creation.
It is for the kids. I do use it for the kids,
Heroes.
but it sucks. It really sucks. I'm going to do this. I'm stupid. I'm so stupid.
So in other news, stuff happened in Galaxy of Heroes since our last Tribe Talks. We had lots of stuff and some things. Do we want to talk about Padawan Obi-Wan first, or do we want to talk about something else?
We can start with Obi. I'm a little interested to see. Well, that too.
Yeah.
No, we are supposed to get an update the 22nd of May, which is like just before Queen Amidala locks or unlocks.
Uh-huh.
And I'm staring at this going like, this is brilliant move by CG, because Queen Amidala needs Master Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
And Obi-Wan needs Master Qui-Gon to be good. So
Kind of, yeah.
if you're gonna be inclined to spend on this game, what would you have to do to make sure that you had Master Qui-Gon unlocked 4 days before the Marquee ends?
I mean, I think, now I could be wrong, Carl. I'm not the brightest crayon in the box. I'm not the sharpest pencil in the drawer. But I think you'd have to whale a bit harder than the average whale.
I think you're gonna have to throw it on their vault just to be able to do it in time.
Exactly.
It's about $100 to 130, depending on your drop rate.
To get the
which
6
is nice. I
stars.
gotta say, yeah, to get to the 6 stars, which we all have our Kenobi at 6 stars. I mean, I like the new Marquee system because it gives you options, right? But and it's way better than the previous where it's like
300
bucks easily, plus the gear it was crazy, man. And that's why I stopped doing it. But with this new Marquee system with the Gungans and everything like that, I'm like,
no, dude,
it's hard not to do it.
I never dropped a penny on any Marquee ever until they changed it with the Gungans. And since then, I've 7-starred everyone.
To be honest, though, the other reason why you've done that, though, is because you know they're going to be required for the new raid. If this was done without a raid requirement, I don't think the incentive to spend would be nearly as pressing. People would probably spend a little bit to get like a 5-star.
Well, it's by the time the event is over, just to go to the 4-star for the extra 5 shards that you get, and that doesn't cost very much. That's at this point, that's essentially what, like 4,000 crystals.
Yeah,
right?
It's like 2 to 3 pulls depending on what your pulls are.
Yeah.
If you get all 5, it's 3 pulls. If you get 2 7s,
such a dick scribe.
What? What did I do?
You pinned that knife.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I am a complete dick. I didn't put it in YouTube. Let's also put it in YouTube as well.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
Yeah,
oh my
I
God.
mean, we can't not have it in YouTube as well, guys.
Yeah.
So there we go. There we go. YouTube wants to get in the action. If you want to see Ranger do his shoey, just go into his clink jar. I don't know how much you need to clink. Ranger knows that.
It's $7.
$7, guys. Okay. If you're listening on a podcast after the date, just keep going there and keep donating, and you'll have to rack up those shoeys for the next
Stop, man. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. It's gonna be a rough one.
What were we talking about? Oh, Marquees. Yes.
The Marquee event, yeah.
Yeah, it's good business.
Yeah, it's a vast improvement. I think that when there's no pressure, people are going to be less incentivized to go as far. But I mean, I think you're still going to get a decent amount of players that are still going to want to do it, because I think it's just like, okay, well, I can spend $100 for a 5-star unlock, or I can go like an extra like $30 and then pull out like a 6-star and they get the 7-star for free. So it's like, I think there's going to be a lot more incentive to keep this process.
I'm just looking at Ranger right now.
Oh, did he already get hit? Oh, Ram came back. Ram came back. He's bored.
I think Ranger's like, okay, I'm never coming on Tribe Talks again.
This delicious
come on!
beverage here.
You mean you get paid to drink alcohol? Sign me up.
Yeah. So we don't have a direct donation to Karth's PayPal available to make him do shoeys, but it wouldn't fit in Karth's account. There's not enough space left over in Karth's account for more money. So this is why he has to spend it on Galaxy of Heroes.
Oh, my bank account. Yeah.
Yeah, it's full.
Oh, I don't know.
Let's continue the discussion as I drink these delicious shoeys of Foster's.
How many did you
Foster's, Australian for nasty.
Australian for a whale's vagina.
Yeah. I'd rather have a whale's vagina right now. Okay, here we go. I owe 3 because Ram's a dick. All right, here we go.
We love you, Ram. Oh, dear me. Well done, Ranger. I'm proud of you, buddy.
I'm very disappointed in
I,
myself.
I do agree with your sentiment, though, Garth. I think the whole Gungans and the fact that they're required for the raid and it's Jar Jar and all this newfangled shiny business is part of the reason why these Marquees were so successful for them. And the same thing can be said about Padawan Obi-Wan. Yes, he's good for the raid, but honestly, even if Padawan Obi-Wan wasn't in the raid, I bet there would still be a high uptake of 7-star Padawan Obi-Wans.
Well, I mean, the reason why is because they're shipping the team, right? And so Queen Amidala is the one that's going to be the pinnacle of that team, and she's coming out in 2 weeks.
Yep.
So I think no matter what, as long as there's a good enough incentive, people will push for that earlier access to those characters by spending a little bit more money if they're inclined to spend. And the thing is too, is shards aside, the additional things that you get from 7-star in like day one,
oh, so good, man.
To younger accounts is phenomenal. I think you walk away with like 11 to like 15 Zeta mats for if you 7-star day one.
Dude, like
and then you get like
accounts. I want that. Like,
yeah, but then you get like 9 Omicrons if you buy the pack, and then from the event you get another 4, or I think 5. Maybe it's 10 Omicrons. I think you get 5 from the pack, and I think you get 2 more on the tier on the 5-star unlock, and I think you get 3 on the final tier. I think they changed it to be a little bit more. But either way, I mean, it's still good value to get to those areas. Now, if you don't really need the Zetas as much, then you can hold out to the last day because the Omicrons are both only one-time rewards, so you don't have to worry about that part. But still an incentive to put towards it. I would be happy if this was a permanent change. But it feels like if it's going to be a permanent change, they're going to do a lot more of this like Queen Amidala kind of thing, where it's like, we're going to build a new team that's going to require a couple of these Marquees. And so they're
going to pressure you with FOMO to
the releases are going to coincide with the release of the Conquest unit.
And there'll be available. An exclusive Datacron that you can only get.
Well, I
don't think they'll do that for every Marquee. I think they'll do it for one character within a set of a new.
If it starts close enough to the next set going live, that's why they did it with Kenobi. Is because it's going to be the exact same set. It just has a level 9 that you cannot roll anywhere else. So
you can't
that
roll
means
it at all.
Well, yeah. Well, you can in theory, technically speaking. The level 9 cron you get from the event rolls Kenobi.
Yeah, it's for Kenobi.
It's forced to.
Yeah,
but it still technically rolls.
And it's the only way you can get it.
But I mean, you can't get it anywhere else.
No, you can get it from the Marquee event.
Yeah. I said from anywhere else. It's the
It's like, you can get everything but the level 9 from Datacron farming. Like everything else you can get. But yeah, you're right. I kind of hope they don't do it consistently, but at the same time, I think the CG's in the right headspace. But I think also it's going to be one of those things that it's going to fall flat because CG's been trying harder and harder to get Datacron engagement up.
Yeah.
And that's why the relic levels have dropped to where they are now, and they're staying there, which that was a great move.
Much better approach.
Yeah, better approach.
But the thing is too is that like the amount of people that are going to benefit from having that cron and wanting that cron are going to be fewer and fewer players because it's like the younger whales are going to get balled up in Conquest. So what's the point of an Obi-Wan cron if you can't get Padme until like Conquest number 5 or 6, right? Right. It's going to be by the time that comes around. I mean, he has uses, but the younger accounts just don't have the depth for that kind of stuff.
I mean, any team that attacks out of turn benefits from his cron. It's just like it's the little things like right now Keller and Beck is better with a Keller and Beck cron. He's got a bit of mass assist. You can throw Padawan Obi-Wan in a JML team and he does ridiculous damage, but it's
I'm not arguing those points. It has its uses, but the thing is that the way I'm looking at it is that there is going to be a subsect of players who are already going to whale on this and they'll get the advantage.
Yeah.
But there is I don't think it's going to I don't think you're going to add new players pushing harder to unlock it on the Marquee event because it's still going to cost $150 that they don't have to spend on this game. And you can spend the $150 on this game in a lot better fashion than a marquee event.
I
if you're
mean,
going to spend that kind
let's
of money.
be honest. $100 is a hell of a lot of money.
Yes,
And
it is.
in this game, it's not like it does. You can't just drop $100
in this game feels some days like, like $10 because it doesn't really get you as far as you'd think, depending on how you spend it. And I think honestly, what's going to happen with these as a side effect of these Lightspeed bundles is you're going to drive player sentiment, unless they keep doing events that they got going on right now. You're going to drive player sentiment away from spending because they are getting themselves in situations where they get all these new toys and they have no way to max them because they are getting ahead of their accounts, and so it's like
They don't have the spending, they don't have the Zetas to back it up. They don't have the teams, they don't have the mods.
More spending, and for some people, it just becomes untenable.
I mean, even for me, like if when we're talking about the fact that I only started whaling on Marquees with the Gungans with the new setup, for me, looking back at Marquees, a lot of it was like, I'm not going to bother whaling on this because it would cost me $300, $400 to get the character, and I don't necessarily have the team, the depth to actually support that character when it gets unlocked anyway. So it's like, it's a hell of a lot of money for something I can't realistically use. I've now reached a point that my account has most things. It's like 11.5 or 11.6 mil. So I don't have everything, and I don't have everything maxed out, and I don't have total depth, but I'm in a position where I can invest in new marquees and be okay. And most of the player base is not in that position. So why would they whale on one marquee when they know they've got another marquee coming and a conquest character to just make use out of that one marquee, right? It's like...
some of the moves have been head-scratching, like, me and Carther talk about this. The two crons, the TW cron for Gungans and the TW cron for Gungans, and then the Galactic, challenge assault battle, whatever for the Gungans. Like, do you really need it? So we were like, let's see what happens with the teams in TW, and then this latest Galactic challenge where we went in there. It's like, you didn't need it. You didn't need it at all. I mean, I guess if you don't have the Gungans fully maxed out, it could be somewhat helpful, but it's like, the other two feats, as I said, was going to happen is basically, you can't do that with the Gungans. You can do some of the feats with the Gungans, and then it's just like the other Galactic challenges. So I was like, there's no way in hell that I'm going to spend an Omicron on that stuff. I'm still debating if I want to do the Obi-Wan. The only way I'm doing the Obi-Wan card is if they make me do that, because if I can knock out the feats and stuff without the Omicron, you bet your ass I'm going to do it.
Honestly, that was like I'm with Fatal on this one. I think it was the dumbest thing in the world for them to put a stamina lockout on it.
I know,
because Conquest Omnis for bigger accounts. Now, granted, this is one of those things. Once you get to a certain size, I don't think CG can create a Conquest Omni that we would equip that would do anything for us in a meaningful fashion, unless it was literally, if you bring in this character, your allies get 1000% offense, 1000% evade, and they do not consume stamina, and then you just and your energy requirements
Conquest Omnis
are cut in half, and then you would get players to do it because they would take that one team and they would clear entire sectors and spam through Conquest in like 5 seconds. And that's the only way you would ever get the bigger accounts to do it. The smaller accounts, it's for them, which is fine. But the problem I have with things targeting smaller accounts, with either like the Galactic Galactic Challenge Omnis and the Conquest Omnis, the problem I have with those targeting smaller accounts is that you are diverting precious resources for those smaller accounts for net negligible improvements.
It's
it's like, so it's like, why would you get this unless the like CG goes along and they go, okay, what are all the buffs and debuffs in the Obi-Wan Omni? We're gonna make that a massive part of every conquest moving forward. Where it's like the smaller accounts are gonna need this just to be able to complete them because they don't have the roster depth to go, okay, well, I'm gonna take Sabine, Krennic, da 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 da, and we're gonna get our stagger feat knocked out in one fight. And so it's like
I
that's
remember that team.
yeah, exactly. But that's my point. It's like they have feats they're gonna do that, but unless they make it like unbearably just ridiculous, where like you have 6 global feats and they're all about getting everything that Kenobi has, then sure, maybe, but
they're not going to do that. And I always
No.
the Conquest is a roster check. It is not to get to higher levels. Yeah, you can have certain teams and clear Conquest up to a certain extent, but to get to the next tier of those crates, you have to have those specific teams, and a lot of times it's the newer teams. So you may have some of the older teams for feats, but you know it's going to be Gungans. You know it's going to be some of this new stuff.
there's going to be
always
a global feat with win like 20 battles with a full team of Gungans, which will immediately write out everybody who doesn't have Jar Jar, because
there's going to be a sector feat of apply frustration 1,000 times or something like that.
Yeah,
you know, and there'll be a boss node that's win with Jar Jar.
Plasma residue 1,000 or 100 times. Like, yeah.
I don't think they're not going to be so extreme that if you don't have Jar Jar, you can't red box. But they'll do enough feats in there that it makes it awkward if you don't have Jar Jar. It'll be like, you're going to miss out on like 20 out of the 34 data keys that you can realistically drop before you can, you have to hit red box. So they'll make it awkward, but they won't make it impossible.
Yeah, we're going to lose
for older accounts. Yeah, for older accounts it won't be, but for those newer and mid-tier accounts that are just getting into Conquest, 4 to 6 million, it's going to be, what's the incentive?
I can almost guarantee one of the global feats is gonna be win with a full team of Gungans.
Yeah, and one's gonna have win 20 battles or get 20 or get a certain amount of kills with Kenobi.
We've got a boss node that's win with boss Nass.
But that came. I mean, like the ones with the Marquees, I don't really care about to a degree, because you can insulate that character enough to win the battle with them on as a 5th for any team.
Yeah.
So like that one doesn't bother me so much, but like we saw with this last Gungan Galactic Challenge, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have 5 Gungans, you cannot get that feat at all.
You can't get red box.
You get the feats, right? There's 2 of them, right?
No, it's just the one.
Yeah, it's only one. They didn't do like a plasma residue or a frustration. No,
it was win with the full team of Gungans, evade 10 attacks, win with only using 3 specials, and then no more than 3 specials, and then
just win the fight, right?
Win the fight, yeah.
And honestly, like, when it comes to GCs, I don't really see that as a big not red boxing is not the end of the world in galactic challenges. As long as you can get the Omis, that's the most valuable thing. Losing out on the mod slicing mats, I think it's mod slicing mats.
Mm-hmm. So
it kind of sucks, but it's not the end of the world. Yes, I would prefer it if people didn't have to have a full team of Gungans. If they could do 4 Gungans and still get the red box, then fine. It would be pretty difficult, I imagine, to win that battle with 4 Gungans. But, at least give players the option, I guess. But, like I said, I'm splitting hairs here. I don't think that's a big deal. But Conquest is, again, it's a different kettle of fish. So...
Yeah, so that Omni, so if you really look at it, if it was one of the 4 feats that you don't need, that you just go win with, because if you ever Gungans up pretty squared away, they will. I put on auto basically and was like win, and I was like, okay, great.
This is the thing that gets me about that Phalanx Omni, right? It's supposed to make galactic challenges easier, but Gungan galactic challenges, you need to have Jar Jar. If you've got Jar Jar, you've got Relic 5 Gungans. If you've got Relic 5 Gungans, you've probably got Jar Jar at Relic 5. You just go in and hit auto and win.
Honestly...
So the people that are going to apply this Omi are going to be the people that don't have Jar Jar. If you don't have Jar Jar, you're not red boxing this Conquest.
Yeah.
Because you don't have a full faction. If you do have Jar Jar, you don't need the Omi because it's easy. It's like who is this Omi supposed to be for and what's it supposed to accomplish?
I swear it's like they just don't think all the way through on what that's going to do, because it's like, if you've got the team, which if you care about it, it's literally targeting the players that do not have this team at 7 stars yet. Like that's who they're like hoping will do it. I'm like, So you've done worse than a raid army, which like a raid army you apply, you go, okay, I know this has a limited shelf life because the raids are here for 9 to 12 months roughly.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're like, yeah, but in 4 months when you farm this faction, that Omicron becomes basically useless to you because you'll never need it again. I'm like, so if I could do like 5 Omicrons for one of these, then I would be I swear to Christ, I don't understand why CG is unwilling to budge on this fact. Like, if you want to do Omicrons for different game modes, fine, make them
modular.
cheaper.
Yeah, they should be way cheaper.
Or do what they did with Captain Rex, give it multiple zone usefulness. I don't like. If you want it to be like people to apply these kinds of things and use them besides like the memes, because I know like SWGoH events server made a title and portrait in their server for people who equip the Phalanx Omicron.
Oh really?
As kind of like a joke.
So the Phalanx Army has basically become the new Relic 9 Cup, right? It's just dumb,
a meme.
but people do it for the memes. Although I know that there is a subsection of players, because I've spoken to at least 2 subsection of players that are like, I have every army, so I just gave the Phalanx army. Like there are people that have just done it because they've got nothing else to spend it on.
Yeah, they do it because they can, not because it's a good idea. But I mean,
exactly.
That's just where we're at with these things. So it's like, I don't like, if you want to make an Omicron cost 20, then it needs to have more uses. And I feel the same way, even a little bit about some of the TW Omicrons, just because it's like, in the competitive guilds it means a difference, but for a lot of people it's just not like worth the investment if you're not going to do a ton.
I mean,
so to have honestly, some flexibility.
If they'd have just added the clause on that Phalanx Omni that states, when you use this team, obviously it only counts in galactic challenges, your team counts as full Gungans.
Yeah.
It would have got such a bigger uptake, because it would capture everybody that doesn't have Jar Jar, can throw any 5th in, and they'd be able to get that red box every single time.
Somewhere between 3 to 9 months of viability versus like
exactly. So,
like,
but at least that makes more sense to apply.
Or again, have it multiple phases. In Galactic Challenges, it does this, and you can make it either for TW or whatever.
In
this game mode, you get this.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't understand why. I mean, it's just one of those things where the armies that are just kind of temporary, they have their uses, because eventually the Gungans will not be the main faction, and you're just like, you put an Omicron on for 20 that you're just getting less and less use of over time, that you really didn't need in the beginning, because by that time you probably have unlocked Jar Jar and got the team up. And it's like, once you get Jar Jar on that team, I mean, as I said, it is easy peasy lemon squeezy. So it's like, what are we doing?
But I do also understand that they're not going to make... They're going to make some armies that are just traps, right? They might be useful, but they're not great. They're there to just get people to spend Omicrons. And that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. But I would just like to think that when they design these Omicrons, that they at least make sense. And the Phalanx one, to me, just doesn't make sense. I don't know who is supposed to apply this.
Well, it was the same thing with the Swordicron too, though, like the Swordy Army. It was like, they're testing things out, but I feel like the demographic they're targeting, which, I mean, this is the hard part. Like, this is when like when people ask me, like, well, what's good in like normal Conquest? I'm like, I have no answers for you. I haven't played a normal Conquest in like, I don't know, ever. So it's like, I don't have relative information for you. So it's like, there might be players that are excited to have these Omicrons because they help their rosters when they're 2 to 6 million GP, and it's useful for them. But the problem that I have is, like, when you look at the investment required compared to the lifetime of those Omicrons, it's like the worst thing that they have come out with, besides like up until the last 2 Phalanx and Obi-Wans, was raid Omicrons, because they have a shelf life. They're only going to be good for so long. And then they're always like, oh, well, but if you're not in the featured raid, then it has a function. And I'm like, if you use the Omicron for the feature raid, you're not going to use that Omicron in any other raid, because when that raid goes away, you just
You're not using those teams.
that character is not allowed in the next raid. So it's like you're making a point that doesn't have any usefulness. And so
I
it's
don't
like,
think we've ever had raid Omicron characters that can be used in another raid, right? So it was
no. They have
Bausch?
both Bausch and Scout can
No.
be used.
No, I mean that they haven't gone to the next featured raid, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
So,
They haven't moved forward. But their Omicron does state that they have a function outside of specific raids that they do. But it's just like, it's just a dumb thing that they did, and it's like, I get where they're coming at from this, is that you're making a team, but it's like, if Gungans can max, score without the Omicron, then why would I want the Omicron? And like, this is where I just have a hard time trying to understand their methodology behind this, because it's like, you're trying to get me to close the 1% for a very expensive cost. And at that junction, why would I do it? It's like, I put on the Bausch Ami for a very specific reason. Not because, like, other people did it because they could save an R8. For me, it was because I could run two teams.
Mm-hmm.
So that one made sense. That one had its unique clause of like, okay, it could save players an R8, which for a lot of players, that value is very similar, because what the crystal cost for an R8 is basically the crystal cost for 20 Omni mats. So that one made sense to me. But the Scout one was like, okay, in some situations, it can maybe get you 200,000 more points. I'm like, okay, but if I'm already going to R8 everything for all my runs,
makes no flipping sense to
me. Then why would I bother? And so like, there's so many things that I think don't get like the full picture brought into it. And I think honestly, it's because CG. I don't want to be too harsh in saying that the end or the speeder bike raid was half baked, but I think what their thoughts on how we would approach it, the Scout Ami made sense. But then we immediately dissected the information and go, okay, well, if we combine Empire with a Rebel or Ewok Scout that we can stack evasion off of, we can get like 90% of the raid score. To even if you do all R8s, you could get the max personal track, and you're done. You don't need the Omicron for it. And so it's like, I feel like if they're trying to avoid that this time, they're going to get really punitive in the raid. They're going to go like, well, if you don't have the Omicron, the Gungans aren't going to do anything. And I'm like, well, that's...
Yeah. I'm hoping that's not the case, considering the barrier to entry. I'm hoping it's just a case of Gungans do great. But again, we already know that Gungans are they're not a mix and match faction. So
no, they're not. It is... Yeah, it's one shot, one kill with them. You cannot put anything else on that team.
They go in Gungans and Gungans alone, right? So unless this new raid is a 3-man battle, then we're not going to be splitting 2 Gungan teams. And moreover, that means the only full Gungan team is going to have Jar Jar. And if you need to have the Omicron to score well for the raid, I will be bitter about it. I will be a little bit bitter about it because it doesn't make sense otherwise.
Yeah,
if that Omicron lets you not use Jar Jar, I think that's great for the people that don't have Jar Jar. But again, it feels very limited in use and time. So,
like, I don't understand what the thought process is, because if the idea is that you need a team of 5, which is the assumption, right?
Yeah.
Then you can't really split a Gungan team. And if they're like, if you can 2-man, it's like, okay, but then does the Boomadiers Ami then like give a pseudo lead? You can 2-man, like Boomadier and Phalanx can go 2-man for max points.
Yeah.
Like what's the play here? Because it's like, it doesn't make, like, the juice doesn't seem worth the squeeze for the raid Omicrons, and that just kind of backpedals through everything, where it's like, the one thing I get really frustrated at CG with these Omicrons is when an Omicron for TW or GAC. Now, I don't like the TW cost because it's 4 times a month, where GAC is, that's 9 times a month that you can use that Omicron, either on offense or defense.
Twice as frequent.
And so they're those, but they're permanent. They're always going to be on those characters. They're never going to go, like, the meta will shift with Datacrons, but they will always be there. They'll always be viable. They'll always have a use. But then you get to like raid Omicrons and Conquest and stuff. Like, once your roster gets to a certain point, you're basically trying to spend $1 billion to get a 0.5% more on the raid. It's just like,
just not worth it.
Yeah, so I don't know why they're so gun shy about doing multi-mode Omicrons. Like, if you like, don't get me wrong, if you want to do an Omicron, great. But like, let's add a conquest element. Let's add a galactic challenge element. Like, let's give them multiple things to do.
Even if their application outside of their main use of the Omicron isn't great, as long as it's something small that still has a bit of value, I think that works, right? It doesn't have to be as like, like I'm trying to think of like Rule of Two on Bane, right? Super powerful Omicron. If they gave him a TW aspect of that Omi that was okay, not like broken like Rule of Two, but maybe on like works when he's in the lead, but still applies to that, Rule of Two.
Literally, just make it while in TW, Bane cannot be killed while C is alive.
Yeah, something like that. Like then it's still it's got extra attractiveness. I know Bane is probably the wrong choice here because Bane is ridiculous.
Yeah, because he's pretty nutty, but outright. But yeah, it's like what they need to do is like when they put the Omicrons on 000 and BT1. Like their thought process behind it was, well, we don't want Afra's Omnis to be active in 5v5, so we put these Omnis on to be active in 3v3 to make it more beneficial to have invested in the team. But it's like the same, like 95% of the counters you would use versus Afra in 3v3, they're gonna work whether the Omicrons exist or not, because the theory behind the teams is getting Afra out before she ever takes a turn. So it's like you're not gonna stop those counters with these Omicron investments. It's like, so not only does her Omicron's not working 3v3, the two that you're adding to it doesn't really stop anything unless you're like way down in like Kyber 3 or something where there's no Datacrons and people don't care. Then it could be a nuisance for people who don't have, CLS or like multiple GLs. Then there's a group of people that are gonna be like, these things are amazing. It's like, it's the people at 4 million GP who went for Afra out the rip for some reason.
Hey, they exist. I've seen them.
They do exist. I'm not going to argue that point, but I just don't understand why they're so gun shy about making Omicrons for PvE modes more event inclusive. Because
they should be multiple event inclusive. It should have a raid or a TB component on each. And I think that if they were smart for PvP, they would have a TW and GC component.
Actually,
for each of those.
That's what I think no matter what the game mode is that they put it on, it should always have a TB element, because honestly, that's like
people don't particularly like TB for the most part. So why not give them an extra fun?
Yeah, but I mean, then you're at least getting use out of the investment. You can use that more than once every.
I tell you what they should be. I think every Datacron in the game should apply to Squad Arena. Every Omicron, sorry, not Datacron, because as far as I'm concerned, that's basically a dead game mode. Like, people do it for a bit of Squad Arena currency. I get it. More valuable to early game players who really, really need that Squad Arena currency. But for the most part, like, give us an opportunity to test like GAC and TW Omis in Squad Arena. Like,
we've been asking for sandbox mode forever. Make that a sandbox mode kind of thing, where any Omicron can be active and you can test stuff against other teams.
We did finally get the PC client, so maybe one day,
maybe one day
we'll get a sandbox mode. Who knows? Who knows?
Trying to get this.
So we didn't talk a lot about Obi-Wan here. We got sidetracked on Omi's pretty hard and fast.
I blame you. To be honest, Carl, you big waffling dingus. You're just like, so Obi-Wan, let me talk about this other thing for 25 minutes.
But it's Omicrons, man.
So Obi-Wan, he's pretty good.
He's in the game.
He's Ginger.
Ginger.
Ginger? It's not really Ginger. He's more of a day
Only
walker.
A ginger can call another ginger as well, to be fair.
I can. I have that right. I am part of the Chosen, so yes, I can make these distinctions.
Yeah, the Chosen few. Yeah, he's not quite Cal Kestis Ginger. He's more of a blondie Ginger, if anything. But,
yes. He's got that good Highlander hair, though.
He does. We'll take it. Yeah.
But I think Obi-Wan is fantastic. I mean, he's going to be really nasty. So
he will be when he gets his team. That is for sure. like.
Yeah,
that
I mean, we already
discipline
seen.
buff
I mean,
is
Queen
huge.
Amidala is going to be really good in the combination of Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon. And we're not getting any other Marquees, it looks like, with this team. So it's going to be a combination of Kelleran
Well,
back on that
apart
team
from
and some
Master
other stuff
Qui-Gon,
he
yeah.
said. Yeah, Master Qui-Gon's coming, but outside of that, it'll be two other Galactic Republic characters. Cam or Kelleran Beck. We'll mix and match some GR,
We do
and we'll
know
figure
that
out which
it's
one's
going to
the
be
best.
Poncho Qui-Gon as well. They did say that. I think was it in the Obi-Wan Q&A. It's going to be Poncho Qui-Gon. That will be Master Qui-Gon. So Cal Kestis would be proud because he loves a good poncho. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah,
It is true.
yeah. I'm honestly, I'm looking forward to finding out what Master Qui-Gon does. How does this complete the circle for that Queen Amidala team? Right? Because Padawan Obi-Wan clearly needs both Queen Amidala and Master Qui-Gon to reach his proper potential, right? Because he doesn't have the discipline buff. He doesn't have the additional assists that he gets from Master Qui-Gon being present in the team. So I want to see, what does Master Qui-Gon bring to that team that makes this really obnoxious? Because it's bound to be obnoxious. And then who are we going to throw in as a fourth and a fifth?
I'm really surprised they weren't adding another fourth or fifth as a marquee, because during the conquest you saw they've got
Panaka, man.
the card
And
right there.
Naboo
They all
guards.
sitting there. I'm like, me.
You got him right there.
They're
Give us some.
right there.
Give
It's like when
us-
I saw
give
the
us some extra
Trigun
stuff.
fighter in that one fleet stuff. I'm like, it's right there. It's in the game. Can we get it, please? That'd be nice. That'd be pretty
No.
sweet.
No, you cannot.
You
get it.
know.
Can we get
No,
that Kalani
not right now.
in game as a unit? I
Yeah,
want Kalani.
no.
But to be honest, right now with B1 and Stap, GG doesn't need any more. He doesn't need any more juice for the squeeze, as it were.
No, but Trench could use some juice for the
And
squeeze.
Trench, but Trench needs non-droid. So
True. It's true.
he needs that other Nemoidian guy.
No, they just do what they do every time they want to do that kind of stuff in the game. If the leader is a non-droid separatist, they lose the droid tag. If the leader is a droid separatist, then they gain the droid tag.
Yeah. If the leader is Admiral Trench, then this. Yeah, if the
It wouldn't be
leader
the
is-
first time they've done that.
If the leader is Trench, they don't count as a droid. If the leader is GBA, they count as a Geonosian. That's what it'll be.
Facts.
That's what it'll be.
Facts.
Yep.
So I mean, there's a lot of interesting options as who the fourth and fifth can be. I think I want to say Barris is almost a shoo-in for it because of the
Makes
interaction with Kenobi.
Yeah.
That granting the defense up whenever they're critically hit, defense up with healing 20% of their max health. It's going to be
Like Barris is just
stupid
great in general. to be
Yeah,
honest.
it's going to be stupid annoying. All the recovery they're going to have with the hots and pots and the rest of the kitchen sink are going to be ridiculous.
I'm so calling that pots and pans, by the way.
That's fair.
Even
Bits
though-
and bulbs.
yeah,
but
bits and bobs.
It's just going to be nuts. The fifth is the one I'm just like up in the air on.
I'm
because it's like,
I'm very much up in the air on that one too. I'm just like, oh, God.
until they tell me what Qui-Gon's kit is, I don't want to really
Well,
commit
exactly.
any direction yet. But like, I'm kind of low-key hoping Qui-Gon's an attacker and not a support. But if I had to put money on it, I would probably put that he's going to be a support character.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're against having multiple attackers, but, you know, Padawan
Even the
Obi is
guy-
already an attacker. She's already a tank, basically. It's most likely he's going to be a support.
Yeah. Which is
So-
the irony part is like that's going to be the number one driving reason to why you'll see so many R9 Queen Amidalas is because the
Oh,
handmaiden
yeah.
stats scale off of hers. So
Yeah,
and she actually
exactly.
gains. She's one of the few.
All this really
support-
tells me is that Karth is taking to her on R9, to be honest.
Oh yeah, she's going
See?
to R9.
I'm doing it too. Yeah.
Depending on what Qui-Gon does, Qui-Gon will likely go to R9 just because of the interaction between him and Kenobi. And I'll take that extra 5% damage for
Hell yeah.
victory. And then Barris will probably go to R9 as well when I get the team up and running because Barris is one of the few healers that just gains a metric ton.
My Barris is still
health.
R3.
Yeah, my Barris without leaderships or Datacrons will be almost 190k health.
Ouch.
Yeah, at Relic 9. It's going to be stupid.
Okay, then. Y'all just making me feel depressed that I'm not out here just Relic 9ing everything willy-nilly. You're like, yeah, I'm taking on Relic. Yeah, I'm taking
Well,
on
I'm not doing it
Relic.
willy-nilly. Well, I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, I mean, they're going to have to go R8 eventually because I just have a really bad feeling that pretty much, you know, for the raid, we know there's going to be Relic
Yeah.
8s on them. So for
Oh,
me,
yeah, no,
taking like
I'll
you know,
do
taking Jar Jar
R8.
to
Don't
9
get me
is
wrong. We'll do R8. R8 is very
well,
achievable.
a tank
R9
is
is
like a
oof.
tank. Yeah, like Jar Jar needs it, and then I just look at the character, like certain characters that are just like, yeah, it's got to be Relic 9. Now I'm not taking Qui-Gon and Master Kenobi to 9. I'll take them to 8, but it's like, yeah, you kind of want to do that. What is Meathead saying in chat? Oh, good.
Meathead's in chat. Hey, Meathead, do you want to join the call and join Tribe Talks?
He timed me out.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
I'm just going to mute you now for a couple of minutes. Hold up. Where's the
That's
mute
right.
button? Mute. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Meathead. You could see the mute button over here on Karth. He can't talk. Karth, scream into the microphone. See, can't hear him. He's muted.
Very good. I'll kick your ass right now. My name is Karth. I'll show you my Shellin style.
And you're back. Welcome back, Karth. That wasn't a minute, but it was.
Yeah,
Ah.
yeah, there you go.
Oh, crap. Technical
He said
user
now the
error.
podcast is better.
Yep. Ah, dear me. It's going to be Mace. Mace? What's going to be Mace?
The
Oh,
fifth.
the new fleet. No.
The 5th? I doubt it.
No, Mace is too good with Jedi right now. Like, Mace is way
You mean
too
clones?
Yeah, he's got other better uses. I just don't
Or
see
the
it.
character?
Yeah.
Sorry, my bad.
good. No, Mace is too good with, like, Keller and Beck and JML
Oh, yeah.
and JMK.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
once Kelleran's Kron goes away, then I think Kelleran will be the
Maybe.
new fifth for the Qui-Gon team.
Yeah.
But I don't think Kelleran will lead his own team after this because you're not getting that like super juicy damage anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that extra 100,000 protection is rather tasty, right? So,
Well, it's 10 more stacks
yeah.
of Padawan lessons, which is what, 50% offense and
stupid amounts of armor pen.
yeah, stupid amounts of armor pen.
Yeah,
Another 200 armor pen.
I'll take it. I'll take it. You know, in my bare hands, I'll have that Kron. But obviously not for much longer when it disappears. So.
Well, someone asked me this weekend, like, do you think Qui-Gon's coming this week? I'm like, no.
No, next week, maybe.
The update
It'll be
is
next week, but it ain't coming that
scheduled This update's scheduled for the 22nd.
Yeah.
But like it's what I said at the beginning of this whole thing is that they're going to push out Qui-Gon right as Queen Amidala comes out. And then
Makes
if
sense.
you want it ready for the second week of 3v3, you're going to have to absolutely
Go
wail
ham.
on the last like 60 shards to get there.
I'm not going to be that guy. I'm going to wail on that
I'm not gonna be
character
that-
because I love the
Yeah,
new
I'll
Marquee
take it
event.
at 6, but I'm not
I
going
ain't
hard
pushing for that
7
extra 50
immediately.
shards or whatever I'd need to get him 7 before that lock-in because, one, I'm not going to have the Zetas. 2, I probably won't have the gear or the relic levels. Not with Queen Amidala being there and Padawan Ben and all that sort of business. It's like, no, I'm not going to have everything, so he can wait a week. He can wait a week. I'll take that week off.
Yeah, I'll wait a week for 3v3. It's not that. I mean, you get into 6 stars makes sense, right? The investment is
definitely. If you can,
it's
I'm
worth
gonna
it
try
if you
my
can.
best.
Yeah. But to take him to 7 stars, it's like no, I'm just not doing it. So I'm not.
Yeah. So yeah, if in doubt, just get yourself into crippling debt, guys.
I
and
have
file for bankruptcy.
$30,000 in credit card
And
debt.
I'm still a little salty because I still haven't got my goddamn Ewoks. Going on 10 days. Purchased that goddamn pack, and I still haven't got my damn
you,
Ewoks.
brother, I'm telling you, that is just karma for trying to invest in Ewoks. Okay, that's all it is.
I shouldn't have done it. You know,
I did it
shouldn't have
against
done it.
my will because Carthage.
Same. I didn't want to do it, but I promised the community. Why do you think I do the shoeies? It's like, all right, I'll do some shoeies. Let's get the Ewoks, and then it's like, okay, it's not working.
Yeah.
But it's the Ewoks. It's the best bundle available.
No,
I know.
Carthrick. Get out of here.
Coming-
I'd be happy
coming
if
from
you
the
were
guy
Relic
who
5,
bought
to be
it.
honest. I told you I bought it against my will. Against my will. It was forced upon me.
I mean, sort of,
By a
Like-
whale.
like
It's
how your
like you're-
first beer was forced upon you.
Well,
Someone
no,
handed
actually,
it to
I
you, you're
remember my
like-
first beer. I was very young. It was a good time. It was New Year's
Back
Eve,
in
and I
my
think I was about
day.
8. And my dad was like, "Yeah, the kids can have a beer." Back in the day, and I was like, "Wow!" So it got me a little stubby, little stubbies of baby.
I remember.
and
I remember I
necked
was.
it. I was like, "Can I have another one?" He's like, "No."
Boo.
I remember I was 5, and I think my Uncle Jack gave me a sip of bourbon, and it made me sick as a dog. I thought my mom was going to kill him because as soon as I drank it, I was like, "Oh, that's kind of cool." Just immediately just throwing up because a 5-year-old should not take a sip of whiskey. You know what I'm saying? So
It ain't good for you, buddy.
I hear it's great when
No.
they're teething, though. When kids are teething, that's a good.
well,
good
teething, but you
go-to.
take a little bit, and you just rub it on their gums. That's not somebody just going.
Mm.
Oh,
Yeah. Now
I
swirl
thought
it
you,
round
I thought
your
you
mouth.
just stripped. I thought you just
Inhale the
stripped the
aromas.
pacifier on the bottle and let them have at it.
Well, no, I
Something for the
was
dogs,
5,
is it?
Carth. I'd gotten past that point. I mean, yeah,
I don't know.
You'll be
I've
a
never
father
gotten-
someday, and
I've
you
never gotten
understand that.
past that point.
Yeah. These
We-
days,
we
that's
can tell.
how I actually have my whiskey. I just rub it on my
Yeah.
gums. Still,
It's a.
it's to deal
I
with
just have
toothache.
mine in a giant sippy cup. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, obviously, only off stream though, because I don't want people to think I'm less of a man.
yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Soon as I'm off stream, I pour everything into a sippy cup. Just
yes. It's well insulated. It helps keep it cooler longer.
exactly, and keeps the freshness. Keeps the freshness.
It is so. I love Guinness. It's so good. It's just like a refreshing cleansing of the soul after drinking.
Well, to be honest, you could probably drink water after Foster's and think, that has more alcohol content and tastes better.
At least the second
I have,
part.
I have my cup of tea here, but yeah.
We need to wrangle Meathead back real quick. See if he can give you some of my Zeta mats.
Yeah, Meathead, I need some of Karth's Zetas. Could you transfer roughly all of them?
I have 273.
I need all of those.
I'd be
Meathead,
willing-
I think I've got.
I'd be willing to part with half.
and in return, I will give Karth 69 credits. Okay? He needs those credits, man.
How many do have?
I would take some arrow magnifiers.
I
I think I just did all the Zetas and all the characters, including Obi-Wan. So I think I'm down to like 260. So I'm all right.
I'm down to like 2. No, actually, after these recent Zeta drops,
Sucks,
they've been
that
fucking
sucks.
clutch, bro. Like, how nice has the Zeta drop rate been? The answer
Oh,
is
it's been good.
very nice.
Yeah, it's somewhere between.
I mean, the signal data is still diarrhea, but the Zetas
Yeah.
have been awesome.
well, just the Mark III pseudodatas. That's all.
Yeah, but I mean, I've done like, I'll just do
they're all
3
bad.
sims of Cantina, or I'll get 2 Zeta mats, and I'm like, holy moly, 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 moly. It's lovely. I must have gained like 40 Zeta mats. So
Yeah, it's been a lot.
freaking amazing. Love it.
It's nice. I like and it's smart from CG to do that because again, recognize the community needs the Zetas. They got to farm these Cantina characters and/or signal data anyway. So very smart move on their part to have Zetas in there. So smart move.
I never used to,
No, we could just do that for Omicrons.
Never used to have a Zeta crunch, but then Carthrick tempted me to the dark side of whaling. And
Whoa.
You have done this yourself, Scribbles.
Carthrick, it was all you. You kept on making me buy stuff, and then I had a taste for it, and I became a vampire.
You had the taste for the
Whale.
finer things in life, and then all of a sudden,
You're like, oh, that dopamine hit. I need it. I need it every time.
it's a great day.
And it makes you run out of Zeta mats very, very quickly. When you get
Yeah,
all
but
the
you-
GLs very quickly and
I don't
all
like
the
that
legendaries
choice.
and stuff.
You'll once Qui-Gon's done, unless they literally start dropping more required which I can't imagine they would do. You're not going to have it as an immediate push anymore, and you'll have a time to start saving up again and getting ready for the next big push. So,
Well, the next big
Yeah.
push should still be fleets. I still think, in my opinion, that's the next big thing.
Well,
So
I'm just so confused. I'm so confused. Like, we have to try and fit in a GL and a fleet in the rest of the year. Where's that gonna? How is that gonna? Where's that gonna? Why is that?
we still got 7 months. It's possible.
whoa! That's assuming that they're going to do both this year.
That's
why
right.
They've
I'm
only got to fit
confused.
one in this year, and they'll be fine.
That's why I'm confused.
I mean,
You run out of Zetas and money. Absolutely true. I'm now broke.
on separate
I have
spending
an
events,
eviction
though.
notice. but it's okay. I'm going to do roster reviews to pay for my eviction notice. It'll be fine.
That's right.
Yep.
Oh, I'm
Right,
currently
it
timed out.
is.
Somebody finally got up to it.
Uh-huh.
Was it the Bazinger Night Fox?
Good.
Yeah, I don't know why they would. I mean, we'll see what the next Conquest unit is. I think that's going to be the most indicative thing of where they're going to push us towards.
Yes, this will be the big thing.
I would be really impressed.
Yeah,
if it's a ship, it likely means we got a new. But I mean, even then, that means it's still 3 months out. So that would be July, June, July, and August. That would take out. So that would still. I mean, that could still release sometime in September. That wouldn't be the end of the world.
Yeah, and then we'll probably get a galactic chase for another ship, and
because they got 3 months to push that out, and then you got time.
A couple galactic chases.
So I mean, there's still an easy chance for that. It's the GL is the one I'm kind of staring at, going like, is it?
I still
really...
think October, November GL drop, and then legendary.
But is it worth
Christmas.
it? But is it worth it? I don't think it's
Depends
worth it.
on the GL, man. If it starts revving, I don't care when they drop that thing. I'm going to hoard myself to get that, man.
Oh yeah, no, I get you, but I think it might be a good year to take a year off from GLs and give themselves some more time.
I would be totally fine with that because I have the GLs now, so I don't want to chase the new one.
I just get bored of chasing like GLs after a while, because it's like they come out and they dominate for 4 months because they come out with a Datacron, and then immediately after they don't do anything all that exciting, and then like 4 months after they're released, you just like, well, here's a brand new Conquest character that shits on that new GL we just released. Hope you enjoy unlocking
or in the
everything.
case of Bane, here's this new Conquest character that shits on the entire game. Everything dies to Bane. If we could throw him in fleet, he would probably solo everything there too. Yeah, it's good times. But good job you found those GLs though.
Yeah, so it's like
yes.
It's just things like that. When they release these characters that counter a new GL, it almost makes like less sense to go after GLs and more sense just to go after the Conquest units.
Conquest matters. Conquest matters.
It does.
And it's kind of like a vicious cycle, right? Because it's like you farm for 3 months to get the Conquest character, to get 3 months worth of really, really good use out of that Conquest character. During that time, you farm the next Conquest character. And that's just the circle of Conquest life complete. And sometimes it's a ship, and it feels trash because it's a ship. But then a new fleet comes out that requires said ship, and you're like, it all makes sense. And then it comes out, and it turns out it's the Leviathan, and it's broken as fuck, but not in the good way. Broken as fuck in the way of, this fleet is stupid and gets beat by the previous meta for 77 banners.
Well, we hope it works this time.
Well, yeah, and then 3 months later they fix it, and it's a good ship, a good fleet finally.
Yeah, I hope they don't have another Leviathan release. That was oh god, that was so horrible. So bad.
I was very angry at that release, and people
we were all angry.
People thought I was unreasonable, but I was very angry. They're like, Scrabbles, you just want something to dominate because you got it. I was like, no, that's not what I'm saying, and I only got it at 6 stars.
It was the sales pitch we were given that it would be the king
dominate the meta.
It'd be the king of the fleet meta.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I was okay with it beating everything. I just was like, oh, well, maybe CG was like offensively, and they just forgot to put in a word. And it gets beat on defense for 77 banners.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't even hard. It wasn't even like RNG. It was just like, no, it just gets dicked on. Just get dicked on by the profundity. Go have fun. They had to buff it several times and fix bugs and fix AI on it to make it work. And now it does. Now safely, profundity does not wreck it. So it
took some time. But we can't have another release like that, man, because that was just unbelievable.
Well, it's just not respecting people's investment into the fleet. You know what I mean? Like the investment for the grind. I'm never going to be the guy that stands there and says, hey, if you get the latest meta, whatever it happens to be, you deserve to like steamroll everything and be top and be unbeatable. I'm not saying that. All I'm asking for is that it's not a joke. because Leviathan, when it came out, was a bit of a joke. It was just like, there's no point having that fleet because you set it on defense.
There was no point
in
having that. Yeah, there was no point in having that fleet not at 7 stars because at 5 and 6 you didn't have all the things necessary to even be competitive, which was really infuriating for the community because it's like, well, yeah, but Profundity and Executor were good at 5 and 6 stars, so you had some uses with those fleets as you were working up because not everybody's going to put $100 down to go get the crystals to go, finish that ship off, right? For it's just like. And then the event, I mean, it's like, God almighty. I just think that Fleets has been and it just feels that it will always be the redheaded stepchild of this game. I don't know if they have a very really locked in vision for what Fleets could be or what they want to do with it. It is so helter skelter. They've gotten a little bit more consistent for the last couple of years with a meta fleet coming in, and they've brought some fleets in, but I mean, their idea is, well, 5 ships is a fleet. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Then what do we need the other spots for?
It's already over. If you've gone past your second reinforcement, the fleet match is usually already decided, right? There's no point having 4 reinforcements. Like it
doesn't make sense. Well, even if you're doing a lot like Empire versus Leviathan, you're not bringing the other 2 in anyway because it doesn't matter. And then that fleet itself, it's not like ground battles. But ground battles, once your roster really starts expanding, you have all these different teams and options and things of that nature. There's some dynamics there, right? There's a lot of dynamics there. Even if you get bad RNG, you may have another team that can clean it up. There's things that happen, but it's very doable, right? Sometimes not, right? But most times you can get around stuff. Fleets, it's like, even if you have the counter, you get the wrong RNG, what are you going to do, right? Because there's just not enough diversity. Really bad, and it's not enough diversity with
how to assist.
Yeah, get that profundity. The amount of times I've lost versus Executor, I've been okay recently. I think the last 3 or 4 times I've used the profundity fleet, I've won because the assists have been good. These days, honestly, like, I don't take any reinforcements with profundity against Executor because it doesn't matter as far as I'm concerned. It's you either get the assists at the start and you kill enough of the Executor fleet to win, or you don't and you die. So it's like, who cares if you've got reinforcements? You might as well save the extra banners and either win or lose on that coin toss. It should work. But sometimes it doesn't. I think ultimately the biggest problem with fleet is that people just don't like fleet. They don't like the game mode. It's not the same as using characters because it feels disconnected. It doesn't feel as exciting as a ground game. It doesn't feel as deep as a ground game. So people naturally just don't get entertained by the idea of new ships and new fleets and new stuff like that. So I'm hoping we see more game modes expand. I don't know if that's going to be vehicles or whatever, but new stuff is always fun.
Well, I mean, if they committed more resources and made fleets more of a commitment, then we would commit to it. But it's not. We have this little period during the summer for the last 3 summers, which has been nice, right? Where we get a bunch of ships and we're like, oh, right, yay. And then we'll get one here or there, like, with Muppins and stuff like that. Like, okay, we're doing, and then nothing. It's just like, okay. And then we're just stuck there using the same stuff with the same RNG over and over and over and over again. It's like,
yeah.
And you have to commit to fleets because nothing is more infuriating for players if you can clear ground and then you get the fleets and you get smoked, right? Because you just don't have the new
crystals alone, man. Right.
I mean, there's still crystals involved with it, so you have to have a meta fleet the more as you climb and progress in your account. So it's something that's necessary, but I agree it's not fun. It's not I mean, when I do fleet arena battles, it's like I'm doing it for the crystals. I'm not doing it for the enjoyment or anything like that. I mean, at least in GAC, with ground teams and using your different teams and stuff, it's kind of cool. Even though you get your ass kicked sometimes because you just don't know the RNG, but at least you're trying to figure stuff out. As your count expands. But fleets, it's like, okay, what do they got on defense? Did they go full FU, or what did they do? And then you just pick what you want to do for offense, and then I just
always make sure I've got the offensive capabilities for fleet. Because screw that. But let's change subject now from bad things to good things. and talk just a little bit about the PC client.
Oh
Because
my God, they
we
crushed
can
it.
crap
They've
on
crushed with
CG a
this.
lot in this community. Sometimes rightfully so, sometimes not rightfully so. But when they do good stuff, when good shit comes out, we should sit back and rightfully say, hey, good work, CG. And for a beta client, to be honest, for a full release, it's pretty damn good. Like, the
It's
PC client is
amazing.
good, man.
Whoa,
really-
let's not get too carried away.
All right, Karth's opinion is now invalid. Karthrick, get out of here. Tell me how you really
No.
feel, Karth.
No, I love it. I think I was blown away when I first got it. The gameplay it's like a new game. It's like a new game. The graphics, everything on this it is unbelievable. I mean, I am so blown away by how good they did this, because I was nervous when I heard they were doing this. I'm like, with the past and how CG's done releases, I'm like, all right, what's gonna go wrong here? And then when I got it, I was like, oh my God, what is this? I just like, what is this? It's like a new Star Wars game I was playing, because it's so good, man.
Hey, it works.
Man.
Like,
And it's
I
so
think we've been
good. It is-
conditioned over the
oh.
years, right? Where something new comes out, we expect it to be broken.
Yeah, right.
And the PC client
Oh.
came out, and genuinely, I've had one crash, and I don't even know if it was the PC client's fault.
Well, so this is
I've had no crashes still.
This is the interesting part with the PC client that I think they're going to have to figure out a way to deal with, is that it's now slaved to EA's servers,
Yes.
which is problematic to a degree from how the game's been performing before this point. Because if EA has any disruption or any like TOS that requires you to, I agree to this stuff, like mid gameplay, it will just say kick you out and start over. Like it has some things that could be landmines for the community when it's on mass. There are some things they're having a hard time bleeding over from the web store into the game. I know, like on my account currently, I only get the 800 crystal Jawa pack, the Jawa daily deal.
Really?
Everything else is
Hold
is
on, I need to
hidden on
check
my
that.
account. So I'd have to log it onto my phone to see the rest of my Jawa scavenger deals as it sits right now. So
That's
there's
the
a few.
same for me.
Yeah, there's a few things that are weird. Well, that came with the update when they put you could claim the web store bonus chest from the EA PC client. When they did that, it screwed up something with the Jawa scavenger deal.
Son of a gun, I hadn't even noticed that.
Yep.
I mean, I don't have 3,200 crystals anyway, so I couldn't even buy that even if they gave me the 7 Zetas.
Well, exactly. But that's just kind of where there are things that are problematic with it that I'm hoping they fix before it's fully released. But visually, I think this is a massive step in the right direction for anybody who plays this game on the PC.
I mean, it's just so great for everybody. I know this is very sort of like, oh, this is great for me and not caring about anybody else. But anybody that streams or does content creation, the PC app is such a huge quality of life improvement because it's so much more reliable than BlueStacks. It looks 10 times better, it runs 10 times better, and it just doesn't hog nearly the same amount of computer bandwidth as BlueStacks does.
Oh, right.
So it's like, it's for everybody that streams and does content creation, the PC client is just brilliant. It's so good.
And it's just because of the dynamics of when you open up your character screen and you've got and you can just start looking at stuff and like, oh my God. Like I was looking at mods, I'm like, I can see all the mods at once.
Right.
This is amazing.
Half the web store pages and one scroll.
You can click a character's icon in characters and it just appears straight away. It doesn't do like a 3-second load time jumping into the character or into the mods or into the ability. It just you click it, it's there. Go into a fleet battle, click it, it's there. Jump into a squad arena battle, click it, it's there straight away. It's like, it's quick and smooth. I love it so much.
And the gameplay is very smooth. It's dynamic. It looks so
nice
different.
Do the animations look It's like
Oh
those,
my God.
the frames per second. It just looks so much cleaner. I've said this a couple of times, but like on Friday night when we went from the PC client to Carth's account on BlueStacks, Jesus Christ, I felt like I'd had 10 pints because it just looked blurry and muddy and sluggish.
Whoa. You had 10 pints.
Yeah, but I mean, you could
six.
It was like going. We had to start up the Nintendo 64. You know, I mean, that's what it felt
I'd been
like.
playing on a PlayStation 5, and we booted up the old Sega Genesis.
I know. The funny part is like Scribe and I were talking about after the fact, and like actually sharing your EA, which I mean, you shouldn't do. You shouldn't do
Don't
this.
share accounts, guys. That's
You shouldn't share your
out.
account information. It's actually way less invasive than sharing your Google.
Yeah. You know, I'm sure Carth has removed all of his credit card details, but I'm just gonna go check. No, I'm joking. I'd never do that.
You can't pull the actual details from it anymore. They've done that
I could just
a long
buy a bunch
time
of
ago
stuff on
and
your account. I could probably go into the store, right?
You can send yourself a lot of gifts there, Scribbles.
He'd have to be in the same guild as Mandy. He's not.
Well, he's not.
I could get you to leave the guild and join mine.
No, that's not how
I'd
that
speak
works.
to Vin about it. I'd speak to Valentine
try.
about it. We'd get you in. I'm sure, Carth. What do you
No,
think?
you won't, because I'll take you both out.
Good luck.
Oh, I love it.
But no, the even with it was a security feature they implemented a long time ago with credit card stuff. Is that they have your stuff on file, but it's all blanked out. And if you ever have to update it, you have to punch in everything new manually. You can't just, oh, well, here's my card number. Let me just update the security code. They got rid of that stuff for that exact same reason. So if somebody got your login credentials, they couldn't just steal your credit card information on top of that.
Which is good practice, to be fair.
That is very good credit.
Yeah.
Boro's doing some begging in the chat. Have you done your giveaway yet?
No, I still have 4 codes to give away. I don't know if Boro deserves one, though. I mean, he's sounding pretty disingenuous right now. You don't think I'm an IQ champion of humankind, and moreover, I'm certainly not. But I do still have 4 PC client codes.
I do hear that you are a little bit loose-fingered when it comes to donations to the Unlocking Master Qui-Gon Jinn Fund. So I'm just
I do, yes, but that would
I'm
be
just
See, this is the
those
difference
two things would be completely unrelated.
Unrelated, yeah, no, they wouldn't happen. You would still need to go.
See, there's a difference here. Yeah, I gave mine away immediately, so people had access.
You still need to go.
Scribe's trying to get him a Qui-Gon. God damn it!
Yeah. I need about
still need to go to the video and like and
subscribe
and everything else, and then there might be a chance that I just happen to give out your ally code to the powers that be, and things happen. I'm just saying,
let's see. It's $130, right? $130. I have 4 codes to give away. I need to raise up £150. So yeah, so direct donations to my PayPal of about $30 will probably, maybe, potentially get you a PC client beta code.
Amazing how that works. Or you guys can just come to my stream when I get some more free ones, and I'll give them to you for free. Screw Scribbles.
Or there's that. There's Ranger trying to undersell me here. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, but you could buy one today, or you could wait for a long time for Ranger to fall back into CG's good graces again. So
and if
no, I'm in their good graces. I'm in their good graces.
If Meathead just now casually cancels all of those because I'm trying to sell them for a profit, that's not my fault. Okay. To be clear,
disclaimer: this was all said in jest.
We are being facetious. We are being facetious, but you can still donate to me if you really want to. So.
I mean, if you think he's a quality streamer, you like the beautiful baldness that he puts forward into the universe.
That's true.
And,
I work on this baldness every day.
If you think he's a deserving individual, or you would like a roster review, he does do paid roster reviews. It's $5 on Tuesdays, and it's $25 if it's any other time besides Tribe Talks. Got to throw that out there
rule.
because
that's right.
We would be here for 6 hours doing one roster review if it happened during.
Oh my god! Could you imagine 3 of us trying to talk over each other about a roster?
We would get so sidetracked on like the first character, and it would be like an hour before we moved past like the first row.
It would be like a 2 million GP account, and we'd end up talking. Yeah, but in a couple of months' time, the new raid's gonna be coming out, and this character might potentially be here. So I think that you should really be thinking long term. I'm like, no, actually, maybe you should just finish up getting your executor.
And I'm like, shut up, Scribe, you ignorant slut. He's a new account. Stop it.
You bald dingus! How dare you?
I know.
Yeah, indeed.
But
Hi, Desi
anyways,
Snarf.
Anyways, have we talked about? Oh, we've been talking about the PC client. Okay, I was like, did we get off the rails again? Yes, but
no,
we
we've
were
been on the
slightly
rails.
on track.
To be
we
fair,
were rails adjacent.
We were running alongside. We could still see the rails. They were still there. We just weren't running on them. We were like
we were like this pretty massive railroad company in the United States that's had some problems with trains staying on the tracks. That was us for like the last 20 minutes.
Yes.
To be fair, Desi, that your comment is exactly how I was giving out my ally codes. Anyway, I've got a YouTube video with about 230 comments on it that has the giveaway. So they're in there. They're all added to my list. I just need to stop being a lazy git and actually.
I'm just saying, if you happen to want one, what video was it? Was it your Galactic Challenge video?
It was on. No, it was on the Secrets and Shadows.
Secrets and Shadows Tier 3. Yeah, Assault Battle. If you are watching right now or in the future, if you are doing those things and you happen to leave, your ally code on that account, on that video. As a comment, and you like it, and you subscribe to the channel. You could find
yourself the lucky
You
man.
could find yourself with that. If you happen to put $35 in the Scribe's tip jar, you might find it sooner.
Who knows? Who knows? Those two things are not related, but thank you.
But it'll highlight it. That's what I hear. I hear the YouTube algorithm and PayPal is pretty close together.
Let's also not forget, just to guilt trip people a little bit further, that in roughly 4 hours time, it is my birthday. So I mean, I will be doing a birthday stream tomorrow, by the way. Birthday stream of GAC. We may or may not be drinking.
Darth Gator, I love what you just wrote. If Ranger doesn't give the codes to friends. Yes, I gave one to Ram Bam. I think that disproves your theory immediately. Immediately disproves that.
Yeah, so Ranger's lying.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Because I double, triple checked that thing. I was like, no, it can't be. It is.
Can't be done.
Because I fought against him being in there. I'm like, I don't know about this, Ram. Should we put him in the drawing? And the whole chat's like, yeah, let him have a chance. I'm like, all right. And then that bastard won. I'm like, I told you guys this was going to, this shit writes itself, man.
Man. It does. It does. So what I might do for tomorrow's stream, obviously we're going to be doing GAC because I don't do it right after Tribe Talks. I'll sit in Discord if anybody wants to join in. Just jump into the VC. We'll have a good chinwag. We'll do a stupid GAC because I won't take it seriously. We'll just have fun with it. We'll have a couple of drinks. We'll celebrate. And then I can regret all of my Monday decisions on work on Tuesday. That's how it's going to be. So people,
we just get Meathead to come by and start writing out those beta invites.
Exactly.
It'll be a good time.
Meathead really does want to give away more ally codes.
I hear Meathead. Now this is 100% fiction, but I will say it anyways.
But I'm going to say it with such conviction that it sounds like fact.
I hear that Meathead, if you get his Star Citizen referral code, will give you a PC client beta code.
I hear.
God damn, Carl. I am not jumping in on that.
I hear that he's hung like a horse and
not
really
jumping
likes
on any of
people
this.
to follow him on Twitch. So,
I hear that if you happen to get him a box of Magic the Gathering playing cards,
that he can open live on stream.
Yeah,
that he can open up live on
Jesus.
stream. There's a decent chance that you get expedited to the top of the list for the next batch.
God.
AC beta.
And yeah, it's gonna be good.
Oh my God.
I think next
none of
year,
that was true. Just
none of it was
who's
true.
Listening. But
or was it?
I'm not saying that it couldn't happen either. Correlation and causation is such a murky field of expertise to be in a part of. But I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but I'm just saying it couldn't hurt.
It couldn't hurt. No, it couldn't hurt. Just
It's
like,
like
surreptitiously trying to offer the policeman $20 when he pulls you over. I mean, what could go wrong?
It's no. You don't offer him $20. You put $100 right in your little pocket at the top. And you
falls
just
out.
kinda,
Oh no!
when you reach over to undo
a couple $100 fair there. I don't see anything.
Or you just accidentally drop it on his boot and go, oops.
Yeah.
I think
we still got Datacrons to talk about. Holy crap!
No, who cares about Datacrons?
Instead, you put a video out. Let them watch that.
I did. So let's talk about Datacrons. So I put out a video on Datacrons. Go watch that. It's on YouTube. Make sure you comment. You might earn yourself a beta code if you really are.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
But more important, the one thing that I want to say right now, the last thing that I want to touch on this great subject of talking about nonsense, is that next year I want to do a live Tribe Talks in person. So I want to go over to the States, and I want to get Carthy and Wolf in a room in my hotel room.
How challenging
I wasn't invited.
We're going to stream from Vegas in a hot tub, and we're going to do Tribe Talks.
Not if I wasn't invited.
All right. So
if that's
starting today,
I want to get everybody there. Everybody.
Starting today, Carter is on a wellness journey.
Oh, you know what ends in wellness?
Because if you want to see me in a hot tub, I'm gonna need a.
Or we celebrate the human form.
Oh, I take up the whole camera and blind everybody.
But February 6th to the 9th, I'll be in Orlando, Florida for MegaCon Nerd Haven. We could go there.
So much traveling for me.
But when
the plane, that extra 2 hours, Karth, it's horrible.
It is. It is.
When did you say that was?
February 6th to the 9th, 2025 in Orlando, Florida, brother.
I'm in another country.
I'm
doing my very first, and this is going to be lost on 99% of the listeners and viewers at home. I'm going to be in Rome watching Italy versus Wales in the Six Nations with my brothers.
Oh.
We're doing our very first lads on tour, go to Rome to watch Wales most likely lose against Italy in rugby.
See, and the thing is, though, for him going to Italy would be like for me going to Florida.
Exactly. But I'm not, all I'm saying is I'm not going to.
Except for you could take a train the whole way and still be there in the
time
I mean, you could. I'd have to go under the water, but we could.
Yeah, but you could. I've done that. I've gone from the UK to France.
I could go. I could do the Euro tunnel. I could do the Euro tunnel. But then I would have to go from Paris to Rome on a train. That's quite a trek. I'd rather just get a flight, Karth, if that's okay with you.
I'm with you. No, I did.
Are you interested in having 12 hours of train or 2.5 hours of flight?
Yeah, 2.5 hours of flight, man. That wouldn't even get me halfway across the United States. well, it would, but not great. It's about 7 hours. If I was to take a flight to Wolfie, it would take me about 7 hours.
Better get saving up on sleep, Karth, because I know you don't need the money.
Yeah.
Plan yourself
and working out.
Working out, because if I'm doing any kind of hot tub stream, we need to make sure that
it is a bucket list. I want to do a live in person. We can have a live studio audience, but I doubt anybody would actually show up. But I want to have a day where we do Tribe Talks, where we're all in person, preferably drinking some sort of alcoholic beverage.
How about we do 2 live events, where one you come to the States and the second one we go to Wales?
Oh, I'm totally down for that. Yeah, I'm totally down for that.
I mean,
Ranger's like, I've been to Wales, never again.
I gotta go hang out in my homeland. There's a place called Wales, and I'm not living there. I feel like
We all know you're from Japan. Get out of here, Karth.
Japan. Yeah. Whoa.
So yeah. What were we going to talk about? Datacrons?
I don't know. Yeah, we can. Datacrons is kind of. I feel like it's a brief conversation though, because it's like CG did a classic CG move, which is you want there's one level 3 you want. The level 6 you want for each faction is the largest block of text.
Which one has the most text? You want that one.
And then like there's for the most part like 1 to 2 like per
Level 9s,
faction level 9s that you it's kind of like the last set, but I think the last set had more depth at the level 3s and 6s than this one does.
Yeah,
Um,
some
I
wiggle
agree.
room, but the level 9s were.
Dude,
So
that
you can't argue with 15% stacking max health and protection. Like bolt
can't.
level
no,
3.
no, especially with
that's-
how many
That's a tough choice.
characters that
Like-
that benefit from that health pool.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be nuts, and then you go double down like on some of those characters. Like Night Sister is gonna be so nutty because I was like they're gonna be really hard to put down with her giving everyone plus 200% max health. But like my Night Sister, before you if you just factor in her level 9, you don't factor in the level 3, you don't factor in the leaderships that you can get. But just the level 9 is gonna put her at 300,000 max health,
And then she's going to do, was it 20% true damage?
20% of that
So
is
60K
true damage. Yeah,
on a basic.
on a basic.
Nice.
And then the level 6 is going to call her to assist. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to split my Inquisition. I'm going to have Riva take her cron and GI and 8th brother and go hang out in one area. And then I'm going to take 5th brother, 7th sister, and 9th sister. And they're going to go hang out on another team and just
I thought you were just
watch
going to
the
throw
world
Ninth
burn.
Sister on Lord Vader or something and be like, there we go.
It
could.
could work,
I mean-
but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think what I'm gonna do is find a way to make like a first order cron work on Lord Vader, because we talked about this the other day and you mentioned at the end of your video is that the first order level 6 does not require a first order leadership. It just requires the leader to gain it. You just need to have a first order character on the team to activate it.
Yeah.
So
isn't it when they attack stunned character, or is it when they crit? I can't remember what it is now.
No, it's when
the first order ally crits, doesn't it increases 10% offense on the leader?
Well, there's two different ways for it to happen. With it is that the
we're all going to check right now.
whenever a first order ally scores a critical hit, the leader gains 10% offense.
There we go.
Until the next turn. Yeah. If the leader scores a critical hit, they gain an additional 10% offense.
And the other first order recover 15% health and protection, which is Jesus Christ.
Malicos is going to be freaking amazing.
Yeah, but the thing is too is that like you gotta keep in mind here is that Lord Vader's basic hits twice, and 3 times when he's in his alt. He's got an AoE that has a pretty good crit. So like if his first turn, if he can crit the field, he'll gain 50% offense.
Yep. Like, time to remod Lord Vader to be offense. Like,
yeah, but it's like
because he's getting 60% stats.
But do Lord Vader lead with crew and Sith Trooper?
Exactly. Like,
oh my god, it would be just utter chaos.
It's gonna be amazing.
Because Slacker plus the spaghetti pilot can like 2-man basically everything. Because
the other thing too is there's that one, and then the other one is the First Order is now getting the one that the Empire had, where they've got the 400%.
Yeah.
There's that one as well.
Oh my god!
But like, I want to do something stupid like Savage lead with OG Kylo or something like that. Savage lead is incredibly tanky. You give him infinitely stacking offense, extra offense, whenever like crew or OG Kylo crits. Thanks to that, that's going to be a nightmare of a team as well. If not a nightmare of a team, he'll be great for just taking on in duos teams, like things that you were worried about before. He's no longer worried about. It's like nice.
Well, put OG Kylo and Savage together, and you're gonna have a freaking menace of a team. Because it's like you wouldn't want crew because you want Savage to tank everything. Yeah, but the basically Savage can keep himself alive fairly well, but then you can keep crew up pretty easily too. It's gonna get nutty,
and he's gonna be counterattacking, which is more crits, and he's gonna stack more stats.
More damage. We like
First Order, the Inquisition, the Gungans all got powerful level 6s. Galactic Republic's fine. I think Galactic Republic looking
GR
at it,
has honestly
GR is
one
gonna
of
be
the
horrible.
most annoying. They're going to be
yeah,
defensive.
it's gonna be more
staples.
annoying than anything.
Padme JMK teams are going to be gross. Like,
Yeah,
you won't hurt them. You won't hurt them. They've
of
completely
it
stomped out Mandalorians against JMK. They don't work anymore. Not with Padme, because you're like, oh, let's do Maul Mandos with all of our attacks out of turn, and they're going to do 1 damage a hit. You're like,
Yeah.
Congrats. And
Well, that and then
you're going to
double
kill
down on the
yourself
fact
thanks to all the
that,
provoke.
the level 6 though is going to be stupid on it too, because you can reduce the incoming damage by 75% as well.
right.
Yeah.
So it's
exactly.
like, when you're below 50% turn meter, it's just like, all right, well, this is going to get really obnoxious. Like, I'm thinking, like, just like going through like my head of like all the GR teams I can start putting together in 3v3 just to be like, well,
the only
Good
saving
luck.
grace
Gas.
to all the
Bad
that's the only
Batch.
saving grace is that you're going to have a lot of armor pen and stuff on these crons to counteract some of this stuff. Because good God Almighty,
Armor pen is going to be super useful against the Gungans, to be honest.
big
Chewing
time,
through
man.
that 500% defense that they're gaining from the shield generator, having a bunch of armor pen is really going to help with that. I feel.
it'll
Well, just for
help.
all the teams.
It'll help, but the armor penetration does not work in the same direction as flat armor pen.
Yeah.
So it doesn't scale exactly the same way. So it's like, even if you had 500% armor pen on a cron, it still would not chew through 500% defense and bring you back to normal damage. It would be like 350% reduction instead of 500% reduction versus the defensive numbers.
Gross.
It's just how they convert everything from percentage to flat number, then use that flat number to gain how they compare, and then it spits it back out on the other end as a percentage. But yeah, it's still going to be nutty. I think Gungans are still going to run into the same problem as they always have, which is basically they'll just get crowd control into the floor and call it a day. And if anyone can ignore taunt consistently, we'll just go, hey.
Yeah, there goes the shield generator.
Getting the shield generator.
I don't see how the new cron stops like Leia from working, or Bane from working, or Bo-Katan from working, or Starkiller from working. So it's like, even if you have Boss Nass modded out for just bonkers speed, I think like the high end people are gonna have him somewhere between 350 and 360, and GAC gets another 30 speed, so between 380 and 390. I'm like, it's pretty easy to get Mara Jade faster than that.
You can get Mara Jade 400 plus in a Starkiller team.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, you could do that like without good modding on Mara Jade, because that's like only needing her to have like 120 speed set.
Exactly.
That's not that hard to do.
I mean, mine's like 360, so it's like and you potentially want marriage. She's one of those characters that, you know, the faster she is, the more you can do with that team, because once she gets cooking, man, she is something else, dude. Because she's like, God, will she stop taking a goddamn turn, Mara Jade? Palpatine, quit following her. Stop it. Stop it.
Well, once you get shock on the Gungans, they'll just get eviscerated because they can't gain taunt, and then you just go and blow up the. You get everyone with shock, and then you literally just keep targeting the shield generator with Palpatine and Starkiller until it dies, and then you clear out the rest of the team.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was one of my comments back on the feedback from the character, which is like, you guys made a really fun team here, but you've left such a blatantly easy to access weakness. So it's just like, it feels like the Family Guy rendition of like talking about the Death Star's design features.
Right.
Yeah.
But
I mean, realistically though, I'm kind of okay with that, because I know it's like, oh, Starkiller poo-poos on it because of the mass shock and stuff, but it's okay for a team to have a very clear counter.
Oh yeah, no, I don't
argue
that.
Like,
yeah,
nobody wants it to just be a Stonewall team.
No, but the thing of it is that this is the problem we've been having in GAC for months now, where the defensive board is so saturated with good options, but also plenty of counters. There's very few teams that only have like 1 or 2 counters. And so it's like, everybody's like, oh, well, I'll put that team down. Well, everyone's just like, well, I'm just going to hold those 2 counters for offense, unless you like make me, if I misplay and I use them before I get to your team, that's like the only way you're going to get a hold on that team on defense. And so I don't know how they get around that problem, but like that's the thing. I was like, I'm just kind of I need the GAC board to change to really care about defensive viability of a team, because unless they wildly restructure how the defensive board works for GAC, there's just not much you can do.
I
to
would be
stop
happier
things.
if they just
More
doubled the
prevalent in
number of
fives than
zones and
threes.
half the number of teams per zone. Like, so there's still the same number of defensive teams, but more walls to hide stuff would be fine.
No, they yeah, if we did like 8 zones and then we added 3 or 4 more teams to 5v5, I would be relatively okay with that. Technically you would need to go to 16 though, so that you could do 2 in each zone.
Yeah, and it should be scaled to per Kyber. Like the last time they did anything, they just did a
It's
blanketed
just Kybers all
Kyber.
the way, yeah.
And
That's
I was
not
like,
fair.
no, you can't do that. It should be like Kyber 1, 2, some of 3, down the line, however you want to do it. But you just getting into Kyber 3, 4, and 5 is like, they don't have the same kind of problems we do at the top, because like my last GC round, I did not use Star Killer and I did not use Lord Vader for offense. I was like, what in the hell? And we really need to add a couple more teams at the top end of Kyber.
Yeah.
For anything below that, no. But again, you can scale this based off the division you're in.
Well, honestly, if they want to do this, they need to create a new division, and then just that's the way around it. Is like you just create a new division, and then you reallocate the score levels to then you get the majority of Kyber 1. So basically, make the new entry point for this place 3,700 points, and then keep Kyber 1, knock it down to like 35 something, and then add more rewards to what we've got going on. But then it's like the players that are in there are players that are taking GAC seriously, and they want to do it and they want to play, and like, but like right now it's just as a joke, because it's like the only reason like things get holds is because people are trying to squeak by on counters that have less than ideal success rates.
Yeah, right.
And so it's like, oh, I tried to use Night Sisters versus Holdo and it went to hell. It's like, oh yeah, because I don't have the Omicrons on Night Sisters, so that's why it didn't work out for me. Or the Holdocron has 300% health steal, and so I couldn't get my plague to stick around long enough to do anything useful. So like there are things where like you don't take everything into consideration properly, and then it goes a little wonky on you. But I mean, I think they do need to make that change at some point. I hope that's one of the things they're working on this year, is reorganizing GAC and TW, because it's like I would sacrifice, I would sacrifice either a GL or a capital ship to get meaningful changes to TW and GAC.
I would too.
I'd be just happy with the change to TW, to be honest. Like, it needs it far more than GAC, in my opinion, because GAC is workable, but TW is just, I think TW needs just a complete overhaul.
It's so stale, man. It's so boring. I mean, I'm over TW. I mean, I've said it a million times. When we do TW, and we're very more relaxed than, more the upper echelon TW guild. But it's like, I go in, what do you need on defense? And then it's the same fights over and over and over again, right? It's just, and it's just like, okay. And if I win, great, I get stuff. If I lose, great, I get some stuff. It's like, it's not that big of a difference where I just care. It's like, yeah, do we want to win? Yeah, I think, what would you see your cards were like 11-2?
Yeah, I think in the last 3 months we're like 11-2, which is which is whatever.
Yeah, I mean, that's acceptable, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, we're mostly fighting,
children. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're fighting guilds that we shouldn't really be paired against, which is another thing that they need to fix in TW if they want to make
the matchmaking needs some work. Yeah.
But I mean, the investment needs to be worth the rewards, and that's just not the case. Like, droid brains aren't that valuable. You can slum it in any guild that can get over 380 and win, kind of like what MC3 does. We have a very good TW track record that gives lots of droid brains, but we don't try that hard. It's just like, usually we get opponents who we just stomp all over because we have massive amounts of Datacron and Omicron investment that they don't have. And then, whenever we face a guild that is TW oriented, they just roll us right over. And so it's what happens. But I mean, we still win like 85% of the time. So it's like, how much do you need to care? If all you need to do is just occasionally lose to have a good TW record, then it's like, who gives a care? Half of our TWs are on autopilot. You just go use the
look, it's a
job.
Jabba zone. What are we going to do?
Yeah.
I'm liking TW where I'm at in my guild currently. It's more full on than MC3 was, because they're a little bit stricter and a little bit, you tend to face people that are a little bit sweatier and stuff like that. But I enjoy it. I just wish TW itself was a bit different, I've said it before, but I want to see leagues and divisions like you have in GAC for Territory War. That's what I would like to see. Change the reward structure, make it a matchmaking system. At first, you can do it like we do currently. Same matchmaking systems we have currently. After that, introduce a skill rating system for the guild, and then turn it into a league and division thing, and scale the rewards that way, and scale the difficulty and the number of teams and the players that way. That way, it's a true comparison of how good a guild is then, on a global scale. And it should make it more fun, and actually reward the people that want to climb, and reward people for signing up with full guilds and stuff like that. So, I don't know. Yeah, I think that only addresses part of the issue, mind. So,
what they need
there's
to
a lot
do
they
is
need to do.
They need to add a reward structure that is like a checking like checking boxes. Like, if you sign up with 50 out of 50, then you get a new reward crate.
An extra good keypad.
Well, if that was it, that would suck.
God, not that.
But like guaranteed rewards for signing up with all your players, and then for having.
How about 15 of each additional signal data?
They should increase.
I'd take that. Jesus.
They should scale up like the brackets too, because 380 is almost nothing now. Like,
exactly.
It takes no guild any effort to break 380. Like, can we at least get into the 500s now and then have
my
those
guild is
brackets
like 620 or something like that, 620, and still the top bracket is 380. That doesn't make sense. It needs to grow. So,
yeah. I think they just gotta add like rewards based onto that. But like the problem is like when you get to the Gauntlet Guild, it's like making the rewards meaningful there becomes a challenge, because if they're too good for winning but too shite for losing, then you're just going to exasperate existing problems. But
the thing, like,
I don't know.
At the very top end, most Gauntlet guilds don't play it for rewards, right?
Yeah. It's
what
about
they should
the
do.
rewards, they're there for pride, man. It's just bragging rights,
So
which
what
is totally cool.
do is they should introduce stuff like animated portrait borders for people who win TW in the Gauntlet. Right at the top.
I got one for you though. They should add streak rewards.
Streak rewards, anything like that. Something that people can show off, that your border grows, expands, comes animated, does like lightsaber clashes, has sparks or stars or anything like that gives no real in-game benefit, no roster benefit, but people can look at you kind of like, I know this has nothing to do with Galaxy of Heroes, but if you look at Apex Legends, you've got these like flare trails for when you drop into battle, right? People who hit Predator have got a unique trail out the back. So as soon as they're dropping into battle, everybody can see this guy's hit Predator, he's a high-level PvP player, sort of thing. Doing something like that to appease the people that really love TW, that gives them no real benefit in game, but lets them show their big dick and swing it around, people will love that shit. Like, why not
they do it
like that?
They do that in One Punch Man. I'm playing the hell out of that game, The Strongest. And when you do the PvP events, and there's different categories of PvP events based off just your one team, or you have multiple teams you go in with. So there's different leagues and stuff you're fighting. But how you place in that, like I go in there, they have one that's just either your best hero team or your villain team, and then you go in and you're in the gauntlet of everybody else, and you have a round of 3. Like it's set up like the World Cup. You have your round of 3, and then if you go 2-1 or better, you go into the next category. It's 64. And so as you climb in that, you get a different portrait and rewards so that players can show that off for just that one thing. But then there's other ones that they have for your bigger roster. So you have a bigger roster that you go in with and stuff, and then they've got stuff for the guilds and stuff. So you get all these cool portraits and things that you do that you can show off, and that's the way they do it. You get some rewards, but the rewards like, okay, that's nice, but you see people walking around with those portraits and things on because it's like, hey, I've got it on. It's like, hey, I had top 4 in that thing, so it's like I'm putting that portrait on, that I got to the top 4, So I think that matters, especially if you care about it, and so you can show it off. It's like, hey, I invested, I busted my ass, I went in there and fought, and this is my reward.
These days, if you click on a player, right, you click on a player, you'll see what league or whatever they're in, right? You'll see their profile picture, you'll be like, okay, this guy's a Kyber 1 player. In GAC, where you normally see another player's account, you don't care if they're in Kyber 1 because you're in Kyber 1, who gives a shit, right? But if you see and you click, you're going into GAC, you're about to go into the fight, and you've got that screen that's got your portrait, your name, your tag, your... What is it? Jesus. The little, title beneath your name. If you see their name and they've all of a sudden got an animated portrait with some fancy additional, title that's got additional animations, you're like, oh god, this guy's actually a top-end TW player. Like, people would like to see that sort of shit there. Like, why not do something like that? It would be cool. It would be cool. And it wouldn't take a lot, and they don't have to worry about in-game economy then either. So, I don't know. I would like to see something small like that. They'd still obviously get rewards for winning. Like, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The top end of TW should still get the best rewards, but they will also get this sort of cosmetic stuff that can let them swing their dicks around. And
that matters to those guilds, who beat who and who's got the top title, and give them something motivation to have that title.
You got to win 7 TWs in the Gauntlet guilds, and then you get a premium portrait and title. And then once a guild has achieved that, then it rotates to the next one, so you can never get that again.
Oh, it's like a unique temporary or exclusively available one. Limited edition.
Well, like what they did for the for TB, the first guild to get like Max Stars and Lightside Geo gets an exclusive portrait and title, but then once it's been claimed once, no other guild can get it.
Right.
So I could do something similar to that, and at least that would be more interesting and give players a reason to want to be sweaty competitive. But yeah, anyways.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Anyways.
See, we've got Borrow in the chat. He's in a Gauntlet guild apparently, and he's like, nope, it's all about the pride. So exactly, you tell me, Borrow, would you get for stuff like animated portraits, limited templates, stuff like that, because you can immediately equip that, or even if you got like holographic versions of your current portraits, something that looks freaking cool and tells everybody that looks at your account in GAC and Territory War, oh shit, this guild means business.
They go for the gusto.
See, there we go. Borrow is like, fuck yes.
Borrow wants a portrait with his dick size.
Yep, exactly. It'll be like you start off like 5 inches, and then by the end of the seven week streak of winning TWs, you're like 12 inches. So you know what I mean? You gain an inch for every win. Oh my god!
Call them sabers.
we call them lightsabers. Yeah.
Hey, you can get glow in the dark condoms.
I see your Schwartz is as big as mine. Let's see how well
you guys have
handle
condoms.
it.
Wait, what?
Oh man!
I didn't.
All right,
realize.
is this time for Tribe Talks questions?
Oh, do we have questions?
We have some.
No,
make sure you only go back to the.
Well, of course. Guys, if you've got questions, head them in the Tribe Talks questions. Any stupid questions will be ignored. Deliberately so. I'll actually acknowledge the stupid question and then not answer it. Okay. Yeah. So, first question today comes from Letha. Sorry, I have 2 questions. Ignored. No. Do you think for the 25th anniversary of the Attack of the Clones, we'll get Padawan Anakin? And what other characters would you like? I think that first one is perfectly reasonable request to get Padawaniki. That's a gross name. What do you guys think? Padawan Anakin for 25th anniversary of Clones? Attack of the Clones?
Yes. We could get mullet hair Kenobi.
Jesus Kenobi, definitely.
Another one.
Yeah, then we can have a full team of Kenobis, right?
Yeah, why not?
Can't we after this current one?
GK, Old Ben, JMK, Padawan Obi.
Oh no, we're still one short.
We're one short. We are one short.
We need
Hello There
Jedi Knight. Jedi Knight Kenobi.
Yeah, Jesus Kenobi.
Jesus.
I mean, we could get some old school clones, possibly.
Some
Cody
more Phase
rework.
1. More Phase 1 clones.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be okay with it, but then I would really like them to go back through the effort of setting up the Padme team, like the OG Padme team from Attack of the Clones, and then making some characters work for that if they wanted to do that.
They can get Jesus Kenobi in that squad. He can replace GK.
Yeah.
So uncivilized.
So
yeah,
uncivilized.
I would be okay with that.
That would have to be one of the abilities.
I would be okay with that.
Yeah.
But then I would
my young
I would
Padawan.
use the dinosaur Jedi who dies in the first 2 seconds of Attack of the Clone.
Exactly. He just drops there and gets shot by Jango Fett, right?
Yeah.
It's like, didn't see that one coming, did you, buddy? Oh, for shame. Yeah. Okay, so the second part of this question is, I know they added Jedi Knight Cal, but could they add more Jedi Survivor characters, and who would you like? I've only got about halfway through the game and can't remember most of it, so you guys can take the lead on this.
The villains of that game I would like to see to a degree. Which
only
one
to a
was
degree.
Yeah. But
Just
the
that game
other...
specifically, I'm trying to think, because we could get a new version of Seer.
We could. We get a new version of Seer, but we don't have any version of the pilot. We get a new version of Marin.
Oh,
yeah. And
down with the hotness, Marin, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please, times.
What's his name? The sidekick that, does all the betraying and stuff. He would be cool because he is...
Hashtag spoilers.
Yes, I'm trying not to say stuff.
No. It's over a year. I don't.
It's over a year. Yeah,
no. I already know who you're talking about. I'm just bitching about the fact that I haven't finished the game yet.
Well,
what do you want from us, man? I thought you'd be done by now. God bless America.
I play games very slowly. Okay.
Yeah, apparently. All right.
I play every game like it's Galaxy of Heroes, and it takes you 7 years to reach endgame.
10 minutes.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that guy there in the chat. Yeah, I won't say anything else. All right. So yeah, there's some characters from there. There's also other Jedi that they could bring in, Quinlan Voss and some other ones from the different things and mentions and stuff. There's a lot of stuff that they could do outside just Attack of the Clones and other series and games. So yeah.
I mean,
they've got a smorgasbord of material that they can go through with characters and stuff and bring in. Yeah, the Jedi Tales, young Dookie. Yeah.
I mean, Dagon would be cool to have. Ravis would be cool to have. Bode would be cool to have.
Oh, you're talking Jedi Survivor again now.
Yeah, Jedi Survivor. There's quite a few characters that would be interesting to have from that show, or that game come into play. But I feel like they won't show up until CG pivots to adding High Republic to the game.
Yeah, the Acolyte's going to bring a shit ton of characters. Just looking at that roster of stuff.
I don't know if it will though.
I think it is, man.
I don't know because
they have the option, but
they have the option.
I'm just saying they're getting more material to have more characters available to them to add to certain factions.
It's going to be a year after the show drops until we would even see any.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying for future content and stuff that there's a lot of content out there. We still got Ahsoka stuff that can come in and some other shows and that they can do some stuff. I mean, Yaddle has been in Tales of the Jedi, she could be added to the Jedi, and there's a lot of stuff they can do. So it's just a matter as you always say, Karth, it's not a matter that we don't have all this material because we've talked about the old Republic characters they can bring in. It's got to work, right? It's got to work for their game. The characters work for the faction.
You got to have a team to support or a faction to bring in when they're doing that kind of stuff, and that's always the hard part when we're like, oh, these characters would be so cool. I'm like, yeah, but where do they go?
What do you do with them?
So sometimes they want to capitalize on a very specific character, like they did with Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, and use the Fallen Order characters to unlock that character. I would be quite surprised if we get anybody else from that particular era because
Yeah.
they would need to give us a brand new leader for that team to make like the new Marin work and the new everybody else. So it's like it's just there's too much like it would be cool if they existed, but where do they go kind of thing. And that
Right.
would be that's the problem to solve. But I mean, I'm not opposed to things of that nature. I just think like CG, like we got a good glimpse when they did the Q&A on Jar Jar. It's like usually they have like 9 to 12 months of characters planned out in advance.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've talked about that.
So
Yeah,
it's-
we've I talked about CG about the big whiteboard, and
Yeah.
when certain things get to a certain stage on the board, then it goes more closely to the end of the board as they get things up and running, right? So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next question because we have a few of them. Okay, so next one comes from Fully Operational.
Really question.
Yeah. Any chance we might get more Ear to the Empire tunes?
No.
Okay. A new Thrawn or Captain Paleon would obviously
No.
be
We're not
would be
getting-
a choice.
Yeah, we're not getting any of those. Not
Why not?
for a while.
Come on.
Not for a while.
Captain Pelion is totally on the books. If Thrawn comes to the game as a GL without Captain Pelion, I'm gonna lose my shit. I'll be honest with you.
Just don't see
Wasn't
it.
he
They-
in?
well, they-
he was in
they-
season 3 of Mando, wasn't he?
Briefly, but he played.
Yeah.
They built out his role a little bit more with the Tales of the Empire with the Morgan.
Oh, I haven't watched it yet. Damn.
Storyline.
It's good. I thought it was good. People crap on it, but I'm like, oh, that was pretty good.
first iteration of Captain Pelion was in the very final moments of Rebel season finale, where Captain Pelion radios Thrawn's flagship.
Okay.
And you hear it like kind of like in the background, and that's like his first actual introduction into canon from the actual books. And then we see him in live action during Mando season 3 for the first time when they do the Dark Council shot with Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
And then
We also see Hux's dad, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
And then we got another iteration of him in Tales of the Empire, where when Thrawn goes and acquires Morgan Elspeth as an asset, Pelion kind of is the intermediary.
Yeah, I know what kind of asset he wants of her.
Ooh, yes, but
it's her witchly abilities.
There is a lot of stuff that we could see from that, but I just think that they don't know how to implement it yet is the problem. It's like I feel like Thrawn has some very interesting things he could bring a part of that I wouldn't want just what we saw in Ahsoka season 1 to be the how they capitalize that. Like
Yeah,
I
want
wouldn't
to see that fleshed out.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see Balin's Skull and Shin be under Thrawn.
No.
Oh no, I want them being unaligned Force users that are ridiculous.
Yeah, but I would want them to be somewhere else. I don't want to see the new Night Sisters being under Thrawn either. Like I want them to
separate
separate
new Night Sisters
those as much as we can. And so
let's get those three badass.
we
ladies
have really good foundations, but we need a lot more material to it before it's just like, oh yeah, let's totally dive on this new content train. So I think that's where I feel like the next year we're gonna kind of we're gonna go off into like Old Republic era or High Republic era and do something different for a little bit, and then let that get flushed out because I think we're supposed to hear about the Mando movie by the end of this year.
Right.
Yes.
And then
Isn't
it's
it a
supposed to
2026 film?
I think it's 2026
Yes.
is the release of the film, but we're supposed to get this first trailer, I think, by the end of this year. I would assume that would mean December this year, but
yeah, probably.
But
It'll be
They
during
tend
the
to
NFL
release them
season.
around December, don't they?
Yeah, they recently did the NFL season, and everybody they make a big deal about it because Disney owns ESPN, which does Monday Night Football. So you usually say that.
yeah. So I mean, I wouldn't be upset with it, but I think a lot of it's going to be like they're gonna pick and choose what comes into canon because even though they are published by EA, Lucasfilm is the one that holds all the reins on the content they can get their hands on.
Of course, yeah.
So that's always been the limiting factor, as far as I've understood it from them, is that Lucasfilm is usually the ones that play certain things
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
chest.
yeah. I mean, they hold the
So-
reins. They've got an entire brand to try and push forward, and they want to make sure that
Well,
the
and
brand is
they-
singing from the same hymn sheet. So
And they don't want any leaks too. Like there was a whole
Exactly.
cloak and dagger for season 1 of Mandalorian, where the Jedi who was supposed to come get Grogu was Plo Koon.
yeah,
Yep.
I heard about this. Yeah,
And they did a massive like cloak and dagger thing in for everybody to like think it was Plo Koon, and then they're like, "Psych, it's Jedi Luke." So like they do things
Which
like
was
that where
huge.
they try to hide that kind of stuff, and they don't want it getting leaked,
That-
which is
that-
fine.
to be fair,
understand
though,
it.
I'm so glad they hid that because that was one of the most hype moments in Star Wars. In my
Oh
opinion.
yeah. Mhm.
like
God, yes.
Oh, yeah,
the season
for sure.
finale of season 2 of Mando, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was season 2.
Was it season 2?
I think. It
Yeah,
was
season
Yeah.
1 is when he accepts him, and then they get
blows
that
up,
season.
right?
Yeah,
Season 1. Yeah, that's the finale of season 1.
because the final scene in season 1 was the dark saber where he cuts
Yeah.
himself out of the TIE fighter, Gideon. So yeah.
Yeah. It's after he captures him on Tython and he goes to rescue him. So it's the end of season 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That-
there's
that
a lot
seems
of
hype.
things like that. That-
Okay,
that-
let's move on. Next question.
Yes.
Next question comes from a Chester. Chester says, "When did you start focusing on mods? What GP level were you at? I cannot remember a time where I didn't focus on mods." I don't know, Chester. Is is my response.
Mods for me has been a day one thing since they've been released, because when these first came out, they were level 7 on the abilities and stuff, and then they retconned it back to
Yes,
only
before my
5,
time.
right? Yeah, that's how they were. So mods have been an integral part, because once we started seeing what they could do with the speed and everything else, it's like, oh my god. And then so one of the things I'll say about mods is that you need to work on them immediately. They are the difference maker. Like, you can have all the other bells and whistles you want, but if your team is not speeded the right way, or you don't have the right kind of damage or certain modding on certain characters, GLs down the line, you're going to be facing an uphill battle, because mods make a difference. Speed still kills in this game. You going first and having certain abilities go off when you need them to makes a difference. So as soon as mods become available to you, you need to be pushing mods as much as you can. It's not
It's
rolling
really
mods all the
easy to
time.
just be like,
Oh my
oh,
God.
I'll just not, I won't refresh mod energy. It's really easy compared to like Cantina energy, where you're like, oh, I need to get signal data all the time. It's very easy to say, I'll just not farm mods for a bit. That's a trap. Everybody in the world who says, I have enough speed mods, is just wrong.
lying.
You can never have enough. Never have enough. Karth, how about you?
Or
When did you
offense.
start farming mods properly?
To be honest, I didn't start farming them probably till I was past like 4 million GP, when I finally started figuring out what I was doing besides just throwing shit at the wall.
Mhm.
But I mean, the earlier you get, when I started my first alternate account, which I still have, but I haven't played it probably in the better part of since the November anniversary. That one started out a lot sooner, just going hard after mods. I wasn't going hard after like a split, like I wasn't farming tons of offense mods and speed mods, but whatever I was getting as mod income, I was using immediately to try to slice, level up, roll out, and then throw away what I couldn't use and keep going. So, I mean, kind of like Ranger says, like, you got to get into them immediately. You can't just like, okay, well, I've got to 8 million GP now, I'll work on mods. Like, you can't lose all that time. Mods are a thing of the sheer volume of rolling and improving over the course of time. And so the sooner you start, the
It's
better.
like, it's playing the lottery, mods are.
Yeah.
With slightly better odds, obviously. But the only way to improve your mods, the best way to improve your mods is to just do more of it. Like, because it's always RNG, it's always random. The only way, you can't just make yourself more lucky. The only way to do it is to just take more chances at being lucky. That's how you get more speed mods. Just constantly refresh that energy. Constantly look to buy good mods. Constantly look to farm slicing materials. Find all of the events that give you calibration mats and mod slicing materials and a different mod and additional mods. And always, always, always work on them. That's the only way you keep on improving your mods properly. Otherwise, you'll find yourself buying lightspeed bundles and being like, hot damn, I do not have the mods to make this team work even though I've got it. I've got it Relic 5, but I don't have mods to make this work. I can't get my Mara Jade above 200 speed. Or you're ready for an event and you're like, I can't mod these guys to unlock this legendary event. I was there first time, but I don't have the mods. I mean, you probably do because you could strip it off other characters, but the point stands. You just always have to work on them. There's never a too early point to work on mods.
You're never going to stop working on mods.
Nope,
I mean,
never.
religiously, just constantly working on mods. I mean, plus new characters. As you progress in the game, you're opening new teams. So again, you always need to replenish and keep working on mods, because if you could have one team all good to go, that's great. Now start again, because you're right back into the beginning of it. And, so
because there are 10 other defensive teams and 11 other offensive teams that you need, and you need your pilots with 6E mods.
What's more, yeah, and it's
And
like
then you need your
like
backups.
yeah, it's like I'm working on my Gungan mods. I'm continuously slicing them and doing the big slices on them, because it's like there's a certain amount of speed I need on Boss Nass. There's a certain amount of other stuff that I need these characters to be. So I'll do that. Then I'll go back in and do Kenobi and Padme and them, and that'll be the next big project. And then we get a GL, it's like that'll be the next big project. So it's just constantly slicing, reslicing, no boy.
Yeah.
Mods, yeah, mods.
Okay, so another brief one at the end for Chester here. He says he appreciates all the content that we produce, which is great. Thank you so much, Chester. But what's your favorite expanded universe storyline or character? I'll go first because mine's very easy. I haven't watched expanded universe stuff. I really haven't. And I don't know where you draw the line at expanded universe, but old legend stuff, I don't know anything. Like Thrawn, I guess, because I've read the old books. That's about it. Because I know nothing about the EU. These guys have extensive knowledge.
I'm torn. And I'll include cartoons and stuff like this in here. Of course, anything Old Republic I've just devoured. I do remember Cartoon Network having that. I don't know if you remember this, Karth, the Star Wars cartoon they did about the Clone Wars that is no longer canon and stuff. That I really love.
The same
that
one as
cartoon.
the Samurai Jack guy. That art style.
Yeah.
Yes,
that
kind of
was
style.
really
And it was
cool. I saw
really
them.
bloody good, man. It's no longer canon, but it's still amazing, right? But the Old Republic timeline for me is always good stuff, because there's so many incredible characters and just events that happen during that time period in Star Wars with the books and the comics and things of that nature. The other one is the Vong saga, the Vushin Vong and that whole timeline when you had Ben and Jaina Solo and Anakin Solo, and you just had all this incredible stuff happening, and it was so different. I just remember it was so different, because Star Wars up to that point in the books and stuff had been traditional kind of enemies. The rebels were facing the Empire again, or this was happening, and then here came this whole new diverse faction that was completely like anything we'd ever seen before, and the way they were. But yeah, just that for me, and the story plots that happened in that book and that series, because it's like 20-30 books. It was huge. Incredible. So yeah, for those time periods, I think the Old Republic and the cartoon really hit home for me.
Yeah, the Old Republic era, and that the farther you go back in time, I enjoy that, not because it's like telling like different stories, but I feel like the advantage of those stories is that it has the time frame to have cataclysmic events occur, and for the galaxy to heal and recover from those before the next one takes effect. It's like the short amount of time between the start of the Attack of the Clones and the blowing up of the Death Star at Yavin is not as much time as you'd really think, but the events that happen in the galaxy during that time are so ridiculous, where it's just like, sometimes you look at it and go like, really? Nobody caught on before this? Like, nobody was the wiser? Where it's like the other stuff, it's like, the Sith have hundreds of years in isolation to build up power, to build up fleets, to build up an army, to then strike out and attack. You can really see the ideology play into things of like how the Jedi thought that they had crushed the Sith once and that they weren't a threat anymore, and so that's why they could live on the Outer Rim and do these kind of things and become these menaces of extreme power. And the vulnerabilities of the Republic at the time being a far less secure military force than it was during the High Republic and things of that nature. And so I like that one because it feels like you could draw up any story during that time and it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Versus like now you have to play the constant game of why weren't they there?
Yeah,
and that's such an annoying
you have to try and make
story.
it fit, right?
Yeah, it's
in the confines
it's
of the story.
Yeah,
that
that's the part of the
exist.
stories that always annoy me the most. Is because like, why wasn't Ahsoka at the Battle of Endor or any of the rebellion events? So she's a part of the Rebel TV show, and so like they kind of have to write her out on. I have to go find my own thing. Cal Kestis is like, oh, why wasn't Cal there? Well, he took this magical portal through this weird space thing anomaly and there wasn't any way back, so now he's stuck over there doing his cool little thing out there. Okay, cool, but like they have to do that with these characters, and that's the part of the story that kind of like it makes the stories weaker when the characters have to have kind of pigeonholed results, where it's like the old Republic era, you could have cataclysmic events where you decimated entire fleets and everything else, because then the next story picks up 100 years later when it they can rebuild part of their fleet and army. There are realistic things that can place in it, and it doesn't always track as well with the current stuff. So I like the older stuff a lot.
Okay, so Old Republic is just your
that era.
Fair. So, but actually, both of you, in fact.
Too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. So we've got a question. We've got two questions here from Gates. One is for you, Mr. Carthrick. What are the benefits from your Lord Vader mods to the usual setup? So I think you better explain first and foremost, how do your Lord Vader mods differ from the standard, and why is that good?
He's modded for crit damage, instead of speed. No, he's still got bulk. It's still protection on all the primaries. It's just not a speed set.
So what's his prot and health at?
210 prot. Hold on.
So he's still rocking a bunch of prot. Over 110, 15k health, 120, I don't know.
Let me see. I'll pull them up real quick. I got it open. 120k health, 215k protection at Relic 9.
Okay, Relic 9. Yeah. Okay, and you've got crit damage mods and what, a health set or something?
Crit damage mods, health set. That's what I've got, and then a lot of offense on the secondaries, in his stuff. The short answer is, this was an alleviation modding strategy. Is the same reason why I have JMK modded in a similar fashion. Is they're characters that people like to have fast, but they aren't needed to be fast for their counters if you use them majorly offensively. So I took the out on that. I did the same thing on Leia too. Leia's modded for a metric ton of tenacity. I think she's at 210% tenacity with her before you get into anything else on her. But it's just because I need those speed mods on more crucial characters, and I didn't need them on the GL. They can deal with plus 20 speed mods without a speed set, and I can move those things to characters like Jabba or JML or Slacker or Mara Jade and Echo, and the list goes on and on of all these other non-GL characters that you need to have fast. So the majority of it was I could afford to cut down a speed set off of a GL and place more damage on them. And the reasons why like JMK and Lord Vader are modded that way are because they ramp damage naturally through their mastery generation. So they ramp their damage. So them having crit damage means they get to do a little bit extra damage, and sometimes that ends up being the deciding factor in a fight. The majority of the time it's not. But the reality is that if you boil it down to the basics, is that it's a team that I didn't need to have a speed set on, so I didn't do it.
Fair. Absolutely fair. Okay. second part, and I'll open this up to the entire panel of all two of you, and maybe myself, is Gates is unlocking Afra. What's it going to use it for?
Paperweight.
Nothing. No, I know she can beat Jabba, but
Well, she will.
rather
Very
use
niche.
other
It's
teams.
she's a very niche. Only in God,
now
she's so
that
niche.
now that she has the set 13 Datacrons are gone, she will have some viability again. But the problem is that you trade one for another. So like set 13 goes away, she can now deal with some of those, crappier teams that were on defense that were relying on the rebel mechanics and the massive amounts of deflection that really kind of made it hard for her to land anything as a challenge. But now we're going to swap that out for bulk, which is equally as annoying for Afra to deal with because she doesn't have tons of exposes or percent health effect damage.
Yep.
So
she just has nutty stacking offense. Well, it's not even offense; it's potency.
She siphons potency, yeah, but she gains potency, to offense, yeah. So she has her uses. Any team that she can outrun and sustain through, like get everyone to go and kind of cripple the other team beforehand, she usually does fairly well on. But
she just really needs a tank, to be honest. But
she needs a
dedicated tank.
Her squad needs more TLC, to be honest, before you can really use her universally. The other side of the coin that sucks is that she's only really powerful every other season of GAC, because in 5v5 she's really good with all of her Omicrons active, but in 3v3 she loses all of her Omicrons.
It's
and
trash, man.
BT1 and 000 zombies are kind of poo-poo.
Yep.
So unfortunately the answer is you're going to use her to beat like a lot of B tier teams that having their cooldowns pushed back and a boatload of AoE damage out the rip are going to be a problem for her. But you're not going to be hunting GLs until she gets that cron back.
This is why I always recommend people just forget about her, and you can literally farm any legendary before you go for Afra. Just leave
She's nice to have, but not necessary.
Don't get me wrong. When her Datacron is active, she is phenomenal. She's really good. But when it's not, she's just kind of okay.
And even in threes, I mean, even with the Datacron, it's touch and go.
Oh yeah,
because
in threes,
your
I
armies are
don't
not
use her against Jabba. It's
you can't. You just can't. She'll get destroyed. And she's very situational. It depends on the team. And again, it depends on your modding, because you have to have exceptional mods on her specifically with potency and speed to not only take the first turn, but then get that second turn to really get that, plus you want to land all her stuff. So yeah, it can be touch and go if you don't even if you do have all the nice stuff, it's still touch and go. So yeah.
So afraid to say right now, not much. There is some use, but you probably won't be using her too much right now. She has got some use in Conquest, I guess, but that's about it. I can answer the next question myself very, very quickly. Running Baldman asks, didn't CG say that Phalanx is going to have a raid on me?
No,
not Phalanx. It was the Boomadeer. Yeah, Boomadeer is going to have a raid on me, but we're not going to see what that army is until the raid is active. Just like they did for Scout. They're not. Yeah. I guarantee you they're not showing it because they don't know what it is yet. They're probably waiting to finish up the raid.
Yeah,
to see.
They want to see how powerful they need to make it or what they need to do with it before they push it out. But yeah,
exactly. Right. So we're not going to see it for 2.5 months, probably something like that.
Yeah,
but it'll have it. It'll be there. Next question comes from Bodhi. With 3v3 coming up, do you think Gungans will get an honorary 6th single? No, I don't think we're going to get an extra unit for Gungans. What do you guys think?
Nope.
No.
If it was going to happen, we would have seen it in this Datacron set.
Yeah. It would have been it would have come with the update, because the next update comes after 3v3 starts. Yeah. So we would have seen it already.
Don't get me wrong. I would actually love to see someone that can operate as a 6th. If it was like Qui-Gon Jinn, or who else could it theoretically be? I suppose it could be Padawan Obi-Wan to make a second team. But realistically, it's not going to happen. No. Also, are we getting a road ahead in the next few weeks, as it's been a while? I think we're overdue or over the head, are we?
I mean, we should be getting something, and there might be more to the post for the next Conquest unit.
Yeah.
So I would say probably by
Yeah.
June would make sense.
Well, look, we're going into the last
Sometime
one
in
of
June.
this is the last round of Queen Amidala Conquest, which means 2 weeks. Then
Yeah, but
within the next 2
wait.
weeks after that, so in a month's time, they're going to have to announce what the next Conquest unit is, be it a ship, be it a character, and
yeah,
the kit reveal and all that business within that sort of month and a half period.
yeah.
If we're going to get one, it'll be around then, right?
So, well, yeah, but Master Qui-Gon, in theory, should come in on the 22nd. That's the idea, right?
Mhm.
So that's the last character. In fact, that's the last thing from their last road ahead to come to the game. Everything else from the road ahead has come to the game. The PC beta,
Yep.
all the Marquees, the Gungans, Jar Jar, Mandalore, everything's from the road ahead is in the game now,
Apart
except
from the
for
new
Master
raid.
Well, and the new raid, yeah, except for Qui-Gon. So they're gonna have to do something after Qui-Gon's release to kind of be like, all right, well, here's the next thing. So I mean, the Conquest finishes up on the 27th. So 2 weeks after he comes out would be June 5th. The next Conquest starts on the 10th. Yeah, because it's 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on.
Yep.
So I would be surprised if we didn't get some sort of lengthy post on the 5th, kind of going into the next Conquest unit and what they are building.
They usually
towards.
we might get the announcement of what the next Conquest character is ahead of time, but usually the kit reveal doesn't come until quite close to the actual.
That would be the 5th. Yeah,
exactly.
That's the update. Well, yeah, the update would come on the 5th. The announcement would likely come on the 4th. But yeah.
So maybe about in about 3 weeks' time, potentially.
Yeah,
potentially if it's going to happen.
Sometime in June would be my assumption.
All right. So Running Bald Man asks, what's going to be the next GL? Darth Jar Jar, or is it the incorrect choice of Revan? Lego apparently added a Darth Jar Jar character. We're not getting Darth Jar Jar, guys. It's not.
Darth Jar Jar is not I mean, he's a fun meme character and stuff, but that's just.
It was funny for them to put it in the Lego, but it's like it's clearly the premise of that Lego series is a multiverse, and so
we haven't done any what ifs for Galaxy.
Yeah, they're having fun with it, and that's all. It's not going to be something that actually comes into the game.
I'd never say never. They did what ifs for Heroes of Middle Earth in its very short tenure. Okay, I think even though we've got infinite levels of content already for Galaxy of Heroes, if ever they gets to a point where they have freedom, I imagine we could eventually get some what if characters. But even if we did, I don't think the first choice would be Darth Jar Jar.
I think the only way we get what if characters is if Disney sells Lucasfilm back.
Right.
Because
I think as long as they control it, they are going to just micromanage the hell out of whatever comes out.
Well, dude, you say that, but there's already Marvel What If TV series, and there's been talks of Star Wars What If series. If we get a Star Wars What If series and we get like a What If Darth Vader turned to the light side and we get a light side Darth Vader, full suit and everything, that would be freaking sick. I'd love to see that. That would be
awesome. You never want to say never, but I mean, realistically, I don't know what Baldwin, why he hates Revan, but putting that aside, when I think of Galactic Legends, I think of characters that shaped the very structure of the Star Wars universe. These are characters like Darth, or True Revan, I could just call him Revan, that is not in the game. Vitiate, aka Valkorian. We've talked about these different factions that these characters are on a different level. So when I think Galactic Legend, I think of characters that had an impact on the story, legends or canon, that were just ridiculous, And so when you think of, of the different characters, in my opinion, Bane, like if they ever brought a true version of Bane in the game, should be a Galactic Legend, right? And his lifter
basically is already. Let's be honest.
Well, he feels like one, yeah. But I mean, they did the version from Clone Wars after he's dead and all that stuff. It's like, okay, But if they really wanted to bring in the version of Bane from the books, from the trilogy, with his apprentice, I mean, I would be fine with that, you know. But he rises to that level of a galactic legend, you know. So top tier characters, and you can list them all out of like all these different characters in the Star Wars mythos that have done these incredible feats and done these incredible things and shaped and reshaped and had an impact on the entire galaxy, you know. So there's so many characters that they could bring in, Jedi and Sith and Mandalorians and all these other different characters and factions that they could bring in. Like we talked about the Celestials
is the next one.
I mean, the Celestials rise to the level of galactic legends. Abeloth rises to the level of a galactic legend. So yeah,
I think Abeloth rises to a level above galactic legend.
She is she's terrifying.
Galactic badass. I don't think that'll be in the
galactic
tag.
Eat your
I
soul.
don't think it
Oh
will
my
be,
God.
but yeah, I mean, if CG was gonna pick a year out to do a GL, I think this would be a decent year for it. But if we were gonna get a GL, I would like to see something not like recent. I would like to go back to like Old Republic era. I would like to go back to anywhere else. I mean, that's what I miss about a lot of the current stuff. Is like we're getting a lot of nostalgia characters now with like the Phantom Menace and things of that nature.
Yep.
But I miss some of those things from the from like the Old Republic era. There's a lot of things that you could pull from just from the games, but also SWTOR. There's a ton of stuff they could pull from SWTOR that could have a lot of fun with that if they wanted to make more powerful factions or give additional factions more squad members to create a second team from. There's a lot of things they could do that would be really interesting to see, and I'd be here for it. I'm just kind of like to the point where I'm kind of done with like episodes 1 through 6 content for a little while. Like I kind of want to go somewhere else for a little bit.
Oh, so like episode 7, 8, 9 content then?
You shut your. I mean, but it's just
Walked
things
into
like that.
one.
I would love to see like what really got me spending in this game was when Revan was announced. Lightside Revan. That was one of the first time where I was buying out marquees out the rip. And so it's like I kind of miss some of that kind of stuff. Like I grew up on the second trilogy 1 through 3. But the games is what I played the crap out of as a kid. I mean, I would love to see some of the old school like Jedi Academy games and some of the characters from that.
Yeah.
Jedi Outcast games would be really sweet.
When are we getting Jan Ors?
Yeah, I mean, there are. That's the thing is, like, there are so many areas off the beaten path that I would rather explore than get more Empire content or more any of like Mandalorian content, any of that kind of stuff. I'd love to go a different direction and just take some time over there, let those other stories develop enough to where we can pull in full factions and bring them into the game in an adequate amount of time and then build it out. But I would love to see some of that stuff versus anything in recent cinema or theatrical release.
Give us like God, what's his name from Jedi Knight Outcast? The villain. He's like a Dasan.
Yeah,
Dasan.
Oh yeah.
And his apprentice. Like why not? Why not?
Yeah.
Give us some people from those games. They were freaking sick, dude. They were freaking sick. Those games were awesome.
Give me Jedi Knight Kyle Katarn with the green lightsaber.
Yeah,
give me
just a man with a lightsaber.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many things I could pull from that era. Give us a different Wedge. Give us a different. Give us some of the characters from those series of games. I mean, there's so many things I could do off of that.
Kip Durin, Corn Horn. I mean, you can go down the line of all these incredible characters and stuff that they could bring in. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, exactly. I'm to be honest, to answer the original question, I'll go with the wrong answer. I just want a true Revan or Revan with the two lightsabers, Revan Reborn, whatever you want to call him. I know it's boring, but that's who I want. Give it to me. Excuse me, sorry about that.
Bless you.
Thank you kindly. So, question from Bomber: Will and if / when They decide to add another Rise of the Empire toon inside of TB, or would they rather just add another raid character? Really miss that kind of grind. You and me both, Bomber. You and me both, buddy. I was so looking forward to maybe Mandalore having a character to unlock, and instead we get Kyrotech and get 3. I'm like,
just wait till we get Naboo, then they'll give us the next character.
That's right.
we said, hey, we said that for Zepho when we're going to get Zepho unlocked. We said it for Mandalore when we're going to get Mandalore unlocked. Now we're saying Naboo, which haven't even been confirmed.
It's just like I've been saying for Conquest. One day we'll get Satil Sean.
One day.
One day it'll happen.
One day I will get more Bastila lineage in my life.
We haven't seen the reward.
One day we'll get Red
raid,
5.
but
just wait, guys.
I don't think we're going to see a new character for the new raid.
For the new raid? No, for the next raid after the Phantom Menace.
Then no. Still no.
You
Still
know what though? Just a quick little side tangent.
Mm-hmm.
If the raid was the Jar Jar event, I would be happier than what we got for
the Jar Jar event raid is what I said months ago the raid should be.
I would so take that over anything else of just endless wave of B1 battle droids. I'm like, at least this was fun. Like, I don't mind if I gotta go do a tier where I gotta go kill 1,000 5 stacks of 1,000 B1 battle droids, and that's tier 1. Like, that's fine. I don't care. But let me have a wave where I fight Darth Maul with a random team. Yeah. Let me have some fun with it. And I'm just like, I'm so upset that it's the odds that are incredibly low.
Yeah. I'm really the thing is, in the Jar Jar event, they did some really good backgrounds, like the Battle of Theed, like even the Battle of Naboo in the background with all the moving AATs and all the combat that's going around and the big shield that covers it. Like, the battlefields look really sick, and I don't want us to lose that and lose that hype. I want us to have those blast doors opening and seeing Darth Maul behind it. Like, give us that for the raid, pretty please. Don't make it just Battle of Naboo Field against B1 droids.
The first phase.
I don't want it to be
of the Jar Jar event. Yeah.
But basically, Bomber.
Shield.
Yeah. I don't know when we're going to get a new character to TB or to
this Christmas, this holiday season. Calling it now. I'll be wrong, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not betting anything on it.
Karth will buy you a hyperdrive bundle if he's wrong.
No, he won't.
No, he won't.
Sounds about
Bomber already owns it. But then if that's the case, then yes, I will buy him one.
If it's 100%. Bomber. Yeah. Okay. You'll be like, I'll buy you. Oh, you've already got it. Oh, well, shucks.
Bomber and Bomber only. Oh, shucks, you already have it.
Yep. So one final question then from Running Bald Man. CG at one point years ago said they would never release Jar Jar Binks. We've got him. I don't like Revan. I just don't think he's GL worthy. Well, you can shut your trap, Running Bald Man.
Well,
and what you think Jar Jar is Darth version?
The thing,
but Revan isn't.
The thing is,
your opinion.
with that interview from that long period.
That was me that did that interview.
Was that like 2016, 2017? That
was that Ranger that did that?
That was me with Crumb and them. Yeah, I did that. That was me that did that interview.
That was like 6 years ago, right? Like
5 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
something along those lines.
The difference is the reason why, like, Crumb even says now, like, you can never say never to a degree, is because the gatekeepers that existed then would not have allowed Jar Jar into the game, but they are no longer there.
Nope.
So that's how you get those kinds of things. It's the reason why we even had the spin-off into the Sith Triumvirate and the Old Republic in the first place, because CG Carey was a big fan of that and she wanted to push those kinds of things. So I mean, you can never say never, but I mean, like, the what if part of Star Wars is like the one thing where I'm like, I don't ever see CG going down that rabbit hole, because you're gonna start creating too many problems with
characters,
and I think that people wouldn't respond to it very well.
Yeah.
because there's a lot of old fans that would just hate the what if idea, because it's like Star Wars has been one of those series of sci-fi where there isn't like a multiverse, and so to add one all of a sudden and make it like part of what everyone's reading, I don't think that's something that a lot of people would attach to. So
I think it could happen.
it could. I could see Disney definitely putting out content based on it, but I don't think it would be canon content. It would just be, hey,
It's kind of like Jedi Visions or the
Yeah.
Visions saga, the enemy stuff. It's like it's cool, but it's it's not. canon.
it's essentially their what if series, but it's just unrelated story arcs in different art styles.
Yeah, which I love the Visions stuff,
Yeah.
but I'm an anime junkie, so
You're just an anime junkie, Ranger.
I really am, brother. Don't get me started talking.
Now we just need a new version of Barris.
Yeah, Dark Side Barrett.
Actually, yeah. I would take Fourth Sister, to be honest with you. That would be a cool character.
I think, and she got fleshed out in this last series. No spoilers.
She
but
was
yeah,
actually
she's
really
really interesting.
a larger part of it than I thought they were going to do. Like I didn't
really
think it
was.
was going to be that much of her, and then it was like all of it was about her, and I'm like, you're going from the character that had like maybe less than a dozen lines in the entirety of the Kenobi series and was only in like 1 or 2 episodes
Shots,
of totality. And then she's like the major player for this like 3-episode arc of Tales of the Empire, and I'm like, oh well, that's really cool. I miss those kinds of like I just kind of hate when Star Wars like just gives us background characters, and like the end of the they even fleshed out a little bit more of that Inquisitor that Ahsoka kills at the end of her thing. And I'm like, well, it's good that we get a little bit more backstory, because it's like you meet a crazily terrifying like medieval doctor kind of vibing Inquisitor, and then he dies like literally within 180 seconds of him being on screen.
Rip.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, that's interesting. Cool. All right. Nothing more on him. Okay. All right. Next Inquisitor. So yeah, I would be okay with some things getting more attention, but
Yeah.
I don't think I want GL Darkside Jar Jar ever.
No, never.
Ever.
I mean, it's just like, honestly, it's just a bloody meme. Let's be honest.
Don't get me wrong.
The concept is dumb.
if you have a minute, Scribe, go watch the cinematics that have been leaked of Darth Jar Jar from the Lego show, and it's just like it plays out exactly how you want it to, and like hits you in that real childish part of your heart that just like giggles uncontrollably at just the stupidity of it.
Oh dear me.
Like they literally replace Sidious with Darth Jar Jar when Mace comes to arrest him.
Yeah.
And like just plays out exactly how you think it would go.
Misa is
like,
the Senate.
Yeah. It's pretty much that way. It's just like, this is so stupid, but like the part of my childish part of me is just like, all right, I'll watch this movie.
It's just a fun thing to have. But I mean, it's just like, okay.
Yeah,
it's a what if, what if thing, and that's fine.
Anybody that takes the idea of Darth Jar Jar seriously just needs to
stop.
Just stop.
Fun
stop,
character.
Okay?
Stop.
It's a level 69 cup. We've been there. We've done it. Let's move on. Okay. Let's you know what I mean. The shine is off the apple. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've been going for 3 hours. I think it's a good time to wrap up Tribe Talks, the longest time running per episode podcast in Galaxy of Heroes. Everybody else, they're all slacking, guys. They do like an hour and 10 minutes. We'd like triple that, basically. Anything you guys want to cover off before we call it a night?
No, I think we've hit a lot of stuff here. I mean, enjoy Mother's Day here in the U.S., which I'm about to go do. Yeah, man. I'm still recovering from that last weekend, man. That suit was heavy.
Yeah, well, it's looking sick though. So, how about you, Karth? Anything else you want to cover off? Actually, no. Let's not give Karth a moment to talk.
Yeah, about to say.
God damn, we'll be here another 25 minutes.
You need another half hour of Tribe Talks, or what are we doing? What are we doing here,
Wait,
guys?
so what are we doing? I could talk.
Like, honestly, if you can keep me engaged long enough, I can talk almost endlessly.
Yes, he
I just,
can.
I just need constant topics, and I can just go from one to the next.
I'm pretty
I know,
certain we
you're-
could just
and
lock you in a
you're-
room on your own, Carth.
And,
You just
and
keep
you're sitting there
talking.
like, I
Solitary confinement wouldn't.
I gotta
be well
pee, man. Come on, brother.
We're just gonna sit you in front of a mirror, and you could just talk with yourself for
Oh my
for
God.
extended periods of time. I think.
Yeah, the only thing that
affirmation
would
card.
change is that over the course of time, as I would start voicing them, the different level of the conversation.
You'd be having the other side of the conversation in a slightly higher pitch. You're like, oh, that's a very
I already
interesting
do
point,
that.
Carth.
I already do that already, and it annoys my wife to no end. Because
I
I'll
love it.
for me, when I'm thinking through problems, I like to verbally hear it because it gives my brain something to think against versus just like trying to think about it in my head. Because my if I hear it audibly, I can find problems with it and then go back and keep working at it from both sides of the positive and negatives of it. And so I'll sit in my office talking through a problem, and my wife's like, "Are you got a video?" I'm like, no, I'm just like trying to figure out something. So I'll do this all the time, and then she gets so annoyed. It's just like, you're just talking. I don't know if it's to me or to somebody else. I'm like, no, it's myself. Because every once in a while I need expert advice, and I'm the only expert I know.
Exactly. All right. Okay. Well, that's going to do it for our episode of Tribe Talks. Thank you, everybody, for listening at home. Thank you for all of the live viewers, and thank you for the questions. We'll see you again next weekend, hopefully. And yeah, have a great Mother's Day, everybody. Good night, y'all.